Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome back once again. It's that time of the week. It is, of course, Alliance Sim Racing's Supercar Championship. And tonight we've entered the final round. And what better place to do it than the mountain? And of course, there's only one mountain when you say that. Mount Panorama in Bathurst, the most iconic and unforgiving piece of racetrack you will find in Australia. My name is Jared Cole. I'm joined in the booth tonight, as always, by one of my amazing co-commentators tonight, Dean Biggles Hopton. And Biggles, I tell you what, for a supercar season, you can't go anywhere else but Bathurst to finish it up, really, can you?
Oh, Mount Kosciuszko, but I don't think they've got a racetrack there. If you're talking about mountains, this is the mountain of mountains. Yeah, the one that tames just about every of the racing drivers on the planet and gives no margin for error whatsoever.
Absolutely right. And as always, a massive thank you to our sponsors this season, SolarGuard St. Cobain. They've been with us right from the start this season, and it has been an absolutely incredible season to look at. We have open qualifying underway, and we'll go check out some of the action there shortly, but let's take a look at tonight's format. We do have a single race to finish this season, and that does introduce some interesting possibilities in terms of the championship standings. We'll talk about those in a moment. 41 laps here tonight. 2 compulsory pit stops and a much bigger fuel restriction. Ordinarily about 50-60% these guys have been allowed throughout the season. Tonight 90% in the tank, and so plenty of fuel, but still those 2 compulsory stops to make across the course of these 41 laps. Great to have you in the chat, folks. G'day Simon, g'day Jeremy, how you all doing? Hope you're well. There is a lot to think about when you come to Bathurst, Biggles. Across the top, you're threading the needle through all of those concrete walls. You are running down Conrod at over 280k an hour. Every lap is an absolute challenge, and I think the best way for us to start is to go for a run around it with none other than, of course, Simon Haynes in the St. Cobain, in the SolarGuard St. Cobain car, and he's been out for a bit of a run earlier on this week. So this is, for the uninitiated, who there must be very few out there, this is a lap around Bathurst. We start down pit straight as always, and it all kicks off with Hell Corner. It's an incredibly difficult left-hand turner there at the start of this track. It just something about the camber makes it absolute hell, I suppose, and that's why they name it that way. We go up mountain straight, the first long run as we see Mount Panorama in the background just before we hit the first turn up the mountain. And again, very, very tricky one to get right. Use all of the track all the way out to the left and hit that curve, and then up into the cutting. It's a blind couple of corners. You've got to get your line just perfect, or you'll find yourself into the outside wall here. And then the climb up the mountain continues. You are at full noise on the absolute edge of traction the whole way up here as we go up past Reed Park, past Silman Park. Very, very close. You'll see there's a little grate. If you blinked, you just missed it. On the right-hand side, the driver's aim to hit, then all the way out to the walls before you head across McPhillamy Park and towards Brock's Skyline. All the signatures on the left, just under this Coates Hire sign. Then down into the S's. Careful on the brakes here, very, very gentle. You can see skid marks as drivers passed. And we've missed that one. Down into the dipper, massive drop-off as the ground just falls away underneath you, and then down what's left of the mountain and into Forest Elbow. Again, like anything, when you're downhill at this sort of an angle, braking is very, very tricky to get right. But if you nail that, you're out onto Conrod Straight. And this is it. This is the absolute pinnacle of speed in Australian motorsport. Conrod Straight runs on forever. And so fast, in fact, they did have to add the chase at the end. This right-hand kink and down to the left-hand. It used to go straight down towards that tyre bridge. But for safety, this little section was added in. So through the chase you go, the last couple of tricky turns lie ahead. Another little bit of a sprint before you go past the pit entry on the left and down into Murray's Corner, a 90-degree bend to finish it off. And what a tricky one it is, that inside curb just waiting to spit any and every car out. That is a lap around Bathurst, and that is a massive achievement for any racing driver, Biggles.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned about that tricky corner that caused Murray's. And of course we have to mention that the Jared Cole corner up there up at the mountain as well too.
I've been known to flip the car here and there around around
flipped
Bathurst.
the car, right, didn't you, mate? Yeah,
it's true. It's true. It happens.
Bit of a cracker. So, but here we are, mate.
We are here. It is, and look, the season standings. It's almost impossible at this point for anyone to take it off Wayne Walker, but mathematically speaking, it can be done. There's there's a lot that would have to go wrong for Wayne for that to happen. But it isn't entirely impossible that Wayne could lose it here tonight. It's just incredibly unlikely. To give you a bit of a feel for it, I ran some numbers just before the broadcast, Biggles, and I think this puts it in perspective for everybody. If Dean Logsdale can win tonight, he needs Walker to finish in 18th or lower in order to win the championship. Now, that alone, you've got to say rules out anyone else. You know, mathematically speaking, Matt Vanderkraan, Mark Point, and Jason Benson, Jamie Dyke all technically could collect enough points tonight, although Jamie Dyke would be a massive outsider considering we don't have that many cars on the track tonight. In fact, as I look at it, we've got probably, about 25, 27 cars, so I don't even know if Jason Bentz could mathematically do it tonight. It will depend on the number of entries. But really, even Dean Logsdale's task looks pretty unlikely
uphill
at this point, doesn't it? Uphill to say the least.
Well,
Yeah.
how about this? How about, like, in the fun of sportsmanship, that Wayne Walker doesn't qualify and has to start from the back of the field? Because mathematically, as you said, he could still, all he has to do is finish in, P18th or higher, right?
Well, that's
Pending,
true.
that is that Dean wins the race on top of that. So, obviously for those other drivers of Dean, Matty, Mark, and so forth, their ultimate goal is just, you got to win. Simple as that, right? Just win, and then see whatever happens behind you. But, you know, all you can do is win.
Yeah, exactly right.
And then see where Wayne finishes up at the end of the day. If Wayne finishes up, as you said, 18th or better, then he wins the championship. But I think Wayne just start from the back of the field and slice his way through. He's won, 6 races of the season so far from the 19 starts.
He's been so consistent. Absolutely.
He's been consistent, yeah.
Yeah, look, and even for the other podium placings here, like Dean Logsdale, again, so consistent throughout this season, he would have to have a pretty awful night tonight to give up second spot, but it's a lot more possible there than it is for anyone else to win this one tonight. Matt Vanderkraan and Mark Point, nothing in it here, 15 points and only 18 points further back to Jason Bentz. The real battle is going to be for Vanderkraan to try and retain his third podium step. But anything can happen, and after all, this is Mount Panorama, where anything often does happen. And with that in the back of our heads, I think it's about time that we went and had ourselves a bit of a look at qualifying and just how that's going out there on the track at the moment. We do have, as I said, 20 minutes of open qual here tonight. We've got another 10 minutes left to run yet, so the drivers out there looking to set their best times. And Wayne Walker, you know, you were saying you'd like him to qualify at the back of the grid. When you said that, Biggles, he had actually run 2 full laps and not recorded a time yet. So a couple of off tracks maybe or something along those lines. But as he set the last lap at 205.848 is enough to take him to the top of the tower tonight. See a lot of drivers on their out lap. Jason Bentz is there, Sean Vandermeulen, another one who had he had a more consistent season, I reckon would have been really challenging for the top of the championship leaderboard. Unfortunately, early injury really did set his season hopes back. But no doubt he'll be here to try and just do something a little bit special, perhaps, this evening and pull a nice podium out of the bag at the last minute. Jim Caperonis out on track as well. You know, he's had a great season too. Very, very quick throughout so much of it, and just the consistency letting him down this season and seeing him finishing a little bit further back. But regardless, expecting a pretty good one tonight as you see him bounce it up and over the curves on the way down into the chase. That Southern Cross racing car has featured in, look, a lot of great drives and a lot of misfortune this season. So I'm hoping for Jim's sake that this race tonight brings him a lot more of the former and a lot less of the latter than he has seen so far this season. Luke Orman, of course, back in it with his camera set up for us, and we get a bit of a view as to just how hard he's pushing on here.
Nice rig.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really unusual qualifying session so far, Biggles. We're so used to seeing, you know, top 10 or 15 drivers all within a second of each other, and it really does. You know, Bathurst is the biggest challenge for any driver, and it really shows when you look at the qualifying times and just how far spread they are. Granted, it's early in the session, but you wouldn't ordinarily expect to see this much of a difference in qualifying times.
I think a lot of drivers, of course, want to wrap up a season on top, the best that they possibly can. A lot of them with recent Bathurst experience up their belt as well too. Like pulled a few laps recently as well too, so they know that. Just wondering at the moment, whilst you have the camera there, I had the camera there on Luke, what the little flashing light was. Shorts, of course, as you can see at the moment, he's like it's a straight
standard fireproof suit for him, mate. Just exactly what we've come to expect from Sean, and I wouldn't have it any other way myself.
And then he's such a big fellow. It looks like a Fisher Price steering wheel on that as well.
Doesn't it just?
That's what he has.
Doesn't it just? Good to see him out there and putting in some time. Yeah. Sitting in third at the moment, just hanging on to it from Matt Vanderkraan. But really, really good qualifying time. So very
fight the car as well too.
Oh yeah, you've got to up and over the top. It's the only way to do it. We'll take a look. Who else have we got tonight that we can have a bit of a look at? Josh Harris, of course, out on track. He's that is not the that is not the Conrod straight line that you take into the chase. But the kitty litter are catching him there. His teammate Ryan Palmer at the opposite end of the mountain. And look, this. I think, Simon just referencing the puddles of doom. For anyone who missed it, it's definitely worth going back and taking a bit of a look at the Bathurst Enduro that happened earlier this year. A little bit of rain about, what was it, 2 hours into it, I think. We got a little bit of rain, and it created this puddle that, from memory, took out about 7 or 8 drivers, even though the rain only lasted for maybe a half hour. Took out so many drivers, and it pools on the right-hand side up in the skyline, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was something else to watch, that's for sure. The conditions here tonight, absolutely beautiful. We're not going to see any rain here this evening, so I think the drivers will be just quietly a little bit happy about that, because it certainly did challenge a lot of drivers for that enduro. So. No such challenges tonight. The challenge of the mountain certainly will no doubt be enough for these guys to try and hang on to tonight, as we see Palmer come across the line. He jumps up into 15th. But 41 laps, Biggles. It's not a short race tonight either.
So very much dominated by a lot of Fords too on the field as well. Too, as Wayne Walker might be going a bit quicker to dominate not only his race pace in this qualifying session, but also his dominations of the championship. Another thing up the driver's sleeves, of course, that they do have, and it's always good to have, is that one fast repair. Now, certainly that will be very convenient for all the championship hunting drivers, because, we've had big wrecks. You know about big wrecks. You certainly know about big wrecks.
I've experienced a few.
At the mountain. So, if you could get caught up in it, for example, it could be, Wayne might be at the front there and run away with the race and have a big gap, but then all of a sudden he's getting approaching lap traffic. All of a sudden there's a big pile up on the top of the mountain. He's got nowhere to go. They're blind corners flying over there. Bang, all of a sudden your team go to another car. You've wrecked your car. That's the championship, leader going into that one. Well, luckily, of course, he can tow and he can get that fast repair. But of course, that's only one. So you don't want to be in that, force yourself into that situation. Of course, what can happen to Wayne can happen to any other drivers on the grid.
Absolutely can. Simon Hayes just calling out for us in the chat. Damon Fisher definitely has made the move. He's no longer with Team AJR. He's currently just shifted across to 266 Sim Racing, so joins the likes of Phil Manuel in the 266 colours.
Nice.
We'll get that updated for Damon to make sure that all shows up properly tonight across the course of the evening. Phil Manuel, his teammate, in the striking black and pink livery, out there on his run down Conrod now. And
I like the different colours of the teammates as well too. Just still the same livery, but you just slightly change the colours so you can determine the difference between them.
And it sure makes it a lot easier for us in the booth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
Has he got solid guard tinting on the windows? It looks like he does.
I would assume
he wants
so.
To in the baking Australian heat, that's for sure, in summertime. So
yeah, look, the thing that will be interesting tonight, of course, is the track conditions and how they change over the course of this evening, because it's not set to be particularly warm for this session, which is definitely going to help the tyre life around Mount Panorama. These guys are going to be pushing so hard across the course of any given lap that I expect that it will come into play at some point. Just starting to manage some of that tyre wear. It hasn't so far this season. It's we haven't really seen any massive temperatures, so that's something at least. But yeah, certainly for these drivers, it's going to be going to be a real balance tonight of when they take those 2 compulsory stops, when they take the new tyres. You'd have to think that most of these guys will be quite content to just split your 41 laps into roughly thirds, do about, 15 laps out of a set of tyres, and then come on in and swap them over. But we'll see if we get any alternative approaches here this evening, which of course a number of these drivers are known for. As we get towards the end of the qualifying session here, folks, a couple of things that are worth calling out. First of all, if you are interested in jumping in next season, the waitlist is active. You can absolutely shoot Alliance Sim Racing an email. The email address is just down below. This is the season 7 calendar as it stands at the moment, opening with the Bend, then Watkins Glen, Catalunya, Mosport, Canadian Tire in round 4, then Silverstone, Sebring, Suzuka, Hungaroring, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and of course the TBA in round 10. I have a sneaking suspicion that that could end up Adelaide, but I guess we'll have to wait and see, Biggles.
Oh yeah, can't wait for Adelaide. Oh, Sean's had to abandon his lap as well too. Did set a purple sector, but he has heading back into pit road there. Jason Benson's got middle sector, sector 2 there. You can see Wayne Walker wants to continue his dominance of this qualifying session as well. Very, very interesting. So incidents points as well too. I believe that we're it's about at 17.
Yeah, roundabout there you'll see your black flag issued for sure. While we talk Adelaide, incidentally, worth noting again the special event, the charity event coming up on Tuesday the 16th will be the Adelaide 400, and that will be broadcast on Simple Racing Broadcast channel. So do make sure you follow the link down in the description to go and check us out there. It's of course a Christmas charity event that was started last year in support of Pink Fins. We'll be running again this year. Teams are filling up, so if it's something you want to get involved with, make sure you get in quick and have a chat to the guys at ASR. Again, shoot them an email down below if you'd like to jump on in. But that one is going to be an absolute crack. I cannot wait.
Wayne went off into the escape road as well too, so he's done and dusted with his qualifying. Let's see if anybody else has got any pace to try to bring it up to the top there. Qualifying session's over, so it's up to whatever laps you're on. Bargsy, as you can see, flying down Conrod Straight. Take a shortcut, mate. Don't even worry about the chase.
That's
shave it about 3 cents off.
The thing that I am most disappointed about is the fact that they removed the jump from. Yeah,
they did, didn't they? Everybody used to do that at the end of their qualifying.
The race
just
used
for a
to
bit.
Be able to hit that launch over the tyre wall, but not for the last couple of seasons. Sadly,
even I can.
Yeah, fast first sector. Will he have enough time to actually complete a full lap though? That's the question.
Bargsy at the moment about to complete. He's currently in P12 at the moment. Look at that. Not many of the Chevys there, mate. As well too. It's all the 4 dominations.
Yeah, which is always interesting because these are a formula car effectively. Like they're the same that they should be, identically matched in performance, and it just doesn't ever seem to turn out that way, does it? Poynton jumps up into 12th. That's gonna be a tough battle for him to get up and really fight for a podium position. Josh Harris comes in and calls time on his final lap.
Yeah, Ken has as well, so that's it. They've done and dusted on that one.
And that will be
Josh,
it.
he tests those seat belts and slammed into the fence, mate. Those G-force belts that he has. But, wow, this is it, my friend. Everything must come to an end.
This is how it's going to happen. Absolutely. The season has been a pretty spectacular one, honestly. Lots going on right throughout. Plenty of tight races. But tonight, Wayne Walker, you've got to think, has this sewn up. Really, the only question that remains is whether or not anyone can challenge and throw a spanner in the works for the remaining the remaining podium positions. I'm just trying to figure out why this isn't actually progressing at the moment in terms of next session. We're just waiting on qualifying, officially finishing. It should have kicked on once Josh came into the pits there, but we do seem to be just waiting on iRacing doing its thing and actually kicking ahead to the next session. So we'll just have to wait that one out, folks. A bit unusual, but iRacing does some strange things from time to time, and not much you can do about it often.
That we know. Thank you all for tuning in, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and support the fantastic Racing League channels, of course, with Alliance Sim Racing and simultaneously on the Simple Racing broadcast networks, and as well as if you are enjoying the races and you're enjoying what's happening, please hit the like button if you do like it. If you don't, you don't have to like it.
No, of course not. But we always appreciate it. Hey, it's worth calling out a couple of other bits while we're waiting on this one, finishing off the session. First of all, this week is Bathurst week, Biggles. We had some Bathurst action last week, of course, with MC Motorsport, and this week we're here tonight. We're back again on Thursday night with Tasman Racing League as well. So there's going to be plenty of Bathurst action this week, and I can officially let you know that for next season and indeed for the ASR charity event onwards. You will find ASR's racing live and exclusive on the Simple Racing broadcast channel exclusively. I know that's a repetition of exclusive there, but can't stress it enough. You will need to jump across to that channel to watch the action from the end of this season. So do make sure you
I will. Because I hit the bell notifications, mate.
Well, there you go.
Because I'm subscribed, and it lets me. It sends me an email as well. It alerts me, of course, if I'm on my YouTube, which I always am.
Always.
Even when I'm broadcasting something else, sometimes it pops up and I go, oh, Jared's out there broadcasting. All right.
From time to time. Absolutely. Yeah. Drivers are just enjoying a few minutes of downtime between sessions. It means we'll get the grid in about 4 minutes time, folks. So if you haven't already, do make sure you get yourselves a nice, cool, refreshing beverage and get yourself a nice, comfy spot in front of your PC or in front of your TV, wherever you're watching this one. On a tiny phone screen, whatever the case may be. Hopefully you've got a great view of it here this evening. I believe that's Brad Hayes just checking into the chat. G'day, mate. Hope you do well out there this evening. I know it's going to be... Look, Bathurst is always a tricky one, isn't it? It always puts on a pretty good show, and I'm going to be really surprised if we get through 2 laps without a safety car.
Which we do have. Of course, manual safety car can be deployed out there this evening. I wanted to ask you, the chat as well as yourself there, Jared, if you had your little fold-out chair there, a couple of drinks there, your esky, and your Vegemite sandwiches and stuff like that, where would you put your seat out? Because Murray's, we know, can create a little bit of a fold-up chair there towards around the pit lane entrance. Can be fun. Where else would you sit your fold-up chair there and camp out for the race?
I reckon... Oh, that's a tough call. There's so many good corners. If you really wanted to see all, and look, if you're here for the crashes,
you want to see a nice crash. Yeah, of course you do. You want a big carbon fiber flying past your face at 200 miles an hour.
I reckon it's got to be Skyline for 2 reasons. One, high speed into heavy downhill braking with some really, really tricky curves to handle. So I reckon that's a good spot, but also you can see a lot from there. You can see the cars coming. If they get the exit into McPhillamy wrong, then they're going to go off to the right hand side and end up flipping like I did. So always good to pick it up there, I suppose.
Simon's agreeing with you on that.
Yeah,
Skyline,
absolutely.
Yep.
Skyline, it always throws up something because it's such a complicated little piece, and you are right on the edge of control the whole way across the top of the mountain. And these guys particularly are pushing so hard in these Gen 3 supercars that the margin for error is just so slim. It really is. G'day, Brett. Glad to have you in the chat. And of course, Project 36 Sim joins us as well. Good to have you along. It's going to be a good night of racing. We are just a couple of minutes out. What we might do is just give you a quick moment to go and top up your drinks, and we will be right back after this quick word from our major sponsor.
Providing the best for your family means a healthy, secure, and comfortable environment. But the daily risks your family faces are often invisible. Solar Guard performance films protect what matters most to you. While you're concentrating on the task at hand, we're protecting your family from uncomfortable solar heat, harmful UV light, and glare. Our window films and protective coatings are designed with decades of technical expertise and provide a vision towards the future. Solar Guard provides added protection to the places where they're needed most, creating invisible barriers for increased security. the people of SolarGuard design carbon-negative solutions that can help reduce energy costs and improve comfort. Allow us to tackle the invisible challenges so you can focus on the important things in life. What matters most to you? We're on it. Saint-Gobain, SolarGuard.
Biggles, we are back and just moments away from running through the grid here for tonight's final round for the Alliance Sim Racing Supercar Championship Season 6. All comes to a close here. A couple of different viewpoints on where you might have a look. Brett reckons Forest Elbow looking back up. I don't think that's a bad option either. That would have been my second choice, I reckon. It's not a bad spot. Tim Lawson going to need a spotter sheet to keep up with driver changes. Yeah, look, it's gets a bit that way sometimes, doesn't it? As we get to the grid, not quite sure why it's decided to jump over the top, but here we go. This is how we're lining up for this final race, folks. 41 laps lie ahead, and Wayne Walker will be leading us up the mountain for the first time, assuming he has a clean start. He'll be alongside Jason Bentz, then Ken Latter and Sean Vandermeulen ahead of Matt Vanderkrant and Luke Allman. Jim Caparonis and Damon Fisher line up side by side, then Jamie Dyke and David Coleman, the two Fishing Motorsports entries, rounding out the top 10. Chad Vigar and Mark Poynton behind them on row 6, then Stephen Varga and Mick Clifton ahead of Phil Manuel and Ryan Palmer. Craig Schulz and Mitch Wood on row 9 ahead of Andrew Rushworth and James Hardy sneaking into the top 20. Josh Harris and Todd Martin behind them. Brad Hayes and Rick Vigar alongside each other. Shane Cudby and Ashley Hall, then Craig Rose and David Logsdale, with Darren Walden not setting a time this evening. Quite content to start from the back. Tim Nicol, as always, in the safety car this evening. And look, we say it every time we get round these races, Biggles. We'd like to not see him, but I suspect that tonight will be one of those nights where we do end up seeing a little bit, I suspect, of Tim Nicol or perhaps Brad Grant out there in the safety car. It's just one of those races, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Tim and Brad would like to get out there and lead a couple of laps as well too, but they're sitting on standby down there in pit lane. But it's all importantly into Hell's Corner first. He's going to be bold and brave. I think most of them generally find a way through there, hopefully. But then you climb up into the mountains where you're going to see some action. Let's hope that they're not going to be thinking about some too wide action too soon. Remember, more of an endurance race per se than a sprint race. And they're heavy on fuel too. Remember that, Jared, there. So these things are, it's like you packed up all the kids and all the suitcases and all that sort of stuff that you're going on a vacation.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight. It's a family sedan weight at this point with the 90% fuel load. That, if memory serves, that'd be somewhere around 110, 120 litres of fuel. That's a lot of extra weight.
That's the wife and the kids generally in the back, and with a couple of bit of luggage.
Yeah,
strap it on the roof too if you want. But then again, I wouldn't recommend that for the aero performance.
Probably not ideal, no. But it's not like these things are exactly particularly aerodynamically efficient anyway. At the best of times. We've got about 30 seconds left to go here, folks. G'day, Mick. Good to have you along. Yeah, good luck to the Fishy boys as always. Of course, Jamie Dyke and David Coleman, 9th and 10th. They'll be looking for a good start here. 41 laps is a long way. Can anyone topple Wayne Walker? Can Wayne Walker hold on? And he doesn't need to do much tonight to cement this championship, but he does need to finish, within cooey really of the likes of Dean Logsdale.
He'll be targeting anything top 10 to secure a deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything top less than 18 for him.
Here we go, Biggles. Starters orders. The lights are up. The green flag waves, and we are away. 41 laps of Bathurst gets underway here tonight, and Wayne Walker leads us down for the first time into Hell Corner as the field already starting to spread out 2-3 wide, looking for those early opportunities if they can find them. All clean through Hell Corner for the first time, and here they go up Mountain Straight. Have a listen to these things come flying by. Nick Whiting absolutely on the money. How could I forget Ken Latter up in third? That is atrocious of me. I'm sorry, Ken. You blend in up there, mate. You're up there so much. We go up the mountain for the first time, and we're still side by side on the way out of Griffins as all of the drivers start to settle into their rhythm now. In through the cutting now for the first time, and we're side by side. That looks like
Damon Fisher.
Damon Fisher. Can you believe it? Still pushing on.
That's brave. And somebody has to lift off. It was Fisher. He realises no way you're going through there at the moment. Somebody goes a little bit wide in the background. Coleman, DC, I think it is, under actually attack there from Mark Point on. So for the Flog Jeep Juice Racing, they've got elected to go in single file now, thankfully. So far, so good. Everybody pointing in the right direction, Jared.
Yeah, so far at least. Down through the Essence for the first time. Wayne Walker leading him on down, and everyone sticking in close together. Of course, cold tyres still, but the first couple of laps always where you get the very, very best out of these Gen 3 supercars as we come out of Forest Elbow and down Conrod for the first time. Here we go, full noise all the way down to the chase, and you'll get this beautiful long line of cars. I love this shot. You'll see them all coming down the hill, single file here. Wayne Walker sticking to the inside just to try and put a little bit of pressure on Jason Benz. Have a listen to them rumble on past though, Biggles.
Yeah, there it is. It's also out close at the moment. Jason Benz doesn't want to let him get away at the moment, mate, but Wayne Walker knows track position is key. As they're going to make their way around the final corner.
I'm surprised, and
lap.
Look, maybe I've just jinxed it, but I am surprised that we've gotten through lap one with no further issues. Wayne Walker out in front, still with pressure on his tail. Jason Benz and Ken Latta right there, and a little bit more of a gap starting to form behind them. Sean Vandermeulen still comfortably in fourth at the moment, but he leads just ahead of Matt Vanderkraan as well. You know, plenty left in this race. Of course, we're one lap into 41, but already we're seeing drivers starting to feel the temp of the tyres. And look at Ryan Palmer having a look up the inside now.
And Benz is going for it too.
Oh, big!
He's going for it on the outside of Wayne. Wayne's also got to remember he's got a championship. He can't afford to get in the battle, but he is fighting tooth and nail. He's saying, "My son, you're going to have to find any way possible." Ken in the background as well too. He's also looking to pounce on any mistakes at the moment. Wayne still with the lead over Benz. Benz through everything, mate. Kitchen sink, cats and dogs at it. Good defensive driving there from the series champion.
Yeah, I don't know quite what happened there, but Ken and Jason really just all over the back of Wayne. Maybe just a little bit of slip up in braking as he came up through the cutting, but it was enough to open up just the slightest of margins. And you see Benz and Latta just looking to pounce on it immediately. It's not surprising from this group of drivers, but so early on to be going side by side as you start the climb up the hill, that's brave is one word, foolhardy might be another.
Oh well. See, Benz has got nothing to lose at the moment. Walker does. You see, that's the thing, isn't it? So that's the difficult thing when you got drivers battling around you. Of course, Wayne wants to maintain this lead of the race and just go from green to checkered, and then that's it, done deal in the championship. But at the same time, he's going to have to fight off, of course, these cars that are battling it. Ken Latta is also the Fishy Motorsports entrance. He's making sure he's keeping pressure on those top two to keep them at bay, my friend, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Early pressure as they're still getting adjusted to these temperatures and the heavy fuel loads.
Oh, it looks like, do we have Vargs and Palmer having a bit of a moment there by the look of things? I'm not sure what's happened when they've come together in the chase, but both of them dropping rapidly down through the timing tower. We don't have anything showing up in terms of incidents, but we might see if we can find just what's happened there, because they've dropped a bunch of spots.
Almost taking each other out too.
Yeah, Shane
Quantum Racing guys
comes through up the inside of Hell Corner. Yeah, they're gonna have to be careful here, aren't they? It's too early, boys, to be doing this to each other.
Working together is great as a team, but don't bump into each other too much, gentlemen. It's early days.
It is. We'll go back and see if we can take a bit of a look here, because I reckon this might show us a little something as to what's happened. Vargs is centered up the inside, and big contact for Ryan Palmer, so that explains it. Vargs are just tucked in behind, giving Palmer a little bit of a nudge along to get him moving again, and they are underway once more. So that will explain it.
I think at the moment, Benz, if he gets a good run at the elbow, he may be able to take the race lead away here, but that's going to have to be the elbow of elbows, my friend. But we'll keep an eye on that one later on.
Yeah, we jump back up front on your main screen here, and look, I don't know, Biggles, we've seen enough from Wayne this season to know that even though it might look like Benson Ladder are right there with him, Walker's probably just playing it relatively easy. He knows he doesn't have to do anything too silly out in front. He just needs to continue to hold the pace. He's well off the qualifying times. These guys are all running the high 207s, which is a fast time around Bathurst anyway, but when we're seeing 205s in qualifying, it really shows you how much that extra weight of fuel slows these cars down. And by the time they burn that fuel off, the tyres are done anyway. So we're not really expecting to see times anything like the qualifying times for the moment. Maybe in that third stint with some fresh tyres and a lighter fuel load, but it will really depend on the pit strategy. Jason Benso staying right there as we flick back. The two ADHD cars have managed to find each other, and this is always dangerous because they are well known for battling pretty hard alongside each other and potentially and occasionally wiping each other out. So one to watch perhaps. We'll see how it goes.
No team orders. No, we've already learnt it from those two drivers, and Sean Van der Molen, he's just another fastest lap, so he's in the 207.32s. Now you'd think that's quick, but the leader just did 207.34, so that's pretty good pace. But his pace is good, but of course track position means you're stuck there in that peak. He's got a little bit of a gap down actually to Ken Ladder, so that's the reason why he can actually be a little bit more confident in the braking zones without having to slap into a car in front of him. The exact position that Jason Benz doesn't have, because he's still got Wayne Walker in the lead. And we got an accident on the top of the hill, and I think that might be Jim and who else is involved in that one? Jim's stuck there. I think we also have Damon.
Yeah,
Damon Fisher.
Damon Fisher off to the side of the track there.
Might be okay.
What has happened? Damon Fisher's just going to have to wait this out. We might go back and try and catch that there. I tell you what, as far as crashes on the hill go, certainly not the best position I've seen, but at least they managed to get off to the side. Big puff of smoke there as these guys slide the cars down through the dipper, and always love to see it. The cars just glide on the way down through the dipper.
It's the first dipper one.
The world just
a fold-up chair.
Yeah, exactly. The world just falls away underneath you when you're in these cars. It's hard to fathom just how steep that drop-off is until you actually go and look at it in person. From what I'm told, I still haven't gotten there, would you believe? But it's on my list. Reece
we need to head down, mate. Yeah, us Brizzy boys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll make a road trip of it.
Yeah, we'll make a road trip. We'll get our RV and sing songs all the way down to Bathurst. DC's in pit road, I believe. So yeah, he's elected to take that pit stop. Yeah, he's done that before in the past, hasn't he?
He doesn't mind going for the undercut, and does have a bit of a habit of making it work pretty nicely. And he'd be all too familiar with Bathurst as well. So I suspect that we will see him come back to feature a little bit later on. We might go back and take a quick look at what happened with Jim and Damon and see if we can pick up just what's happened there. Oh, okay. So it looks as though Jim's just had a big moment into the wall. We might have to go back just a little bit further to pick up on that.
I think that Damon might have been looking at getting around one other driver and attacking at the same time, and I think because the room the door was shut pretty quickly on that.
It was, yeah. But I think Jim Capronis is just way too far back for us to see that. We might jump forward just a little further. I think he's just had a. There you go. And that's interesting.
Snapped to the left, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if that was actually a hardware issue, because you see that happen regularly when you get a wheel disconnect. The wheel will often flick hard to one side, and my guess is that's exactly what's happened to Jim.
And no slow down or anything like that. But then again, there was no time at that point anyway to even hit the anchors. So that's I was just talking about that in the broadcast earlier today as well too. When you kind of notice when there's a kind of technical disconnection of some sort of equipment, because the car just completely does the opposite thing, what you'd expect. And these are well-established, experienced drivers too. So it's not a rookie mistake that any of these drivers would make.
No, not at all. Andrew Rushworth now looking up the inside of Mitch Wood as they make their way down corner. They're going to be side by side through this kink, and I think that Wood might just hold this if he can be brave under the brakes. But Rushworth's had a fantastic run down into the braking zone, and has made it look easy in the end. Mitch Wood drops on into 14th, and that will do him for the moment. You can see in the background the ADHD cars almost coming together entirely accidentally. And a drive-through penalty issued there for Stephen Varga for the contact early with I was going to say Jamie Dyke, but no, with Ryan Palmer rather.
Oaksy goes down.
Yeah, so he'll be serving that drive-through, no doubt. He'll drop back further. And look, I mean, if you're going to get a drive-through penalty, this is not a bad time of the race to do it. We've still got, 35 laps to go. Plenty of time to make it back up. As we watch the battle for 18th, Todd Martin, Brad Hazer, and Rick Vigar making their way up Mountain Straight towards Mount Panorama once again. Did I say hello, Reese? I'm pretty sure I said hello before. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And more fantastic Bathurst racing action. There is so much of it over the 7 days or so that we're right in the middle of here with Alliance Sim Racing and, of course, Simple Racing broadcasts. We've got more over on Simple on Thursday night. We'll be back here again with GT3 racing. And then, we've got a little bit of a gap in the iRacing calendar. But, of course, we're off to Adelaide on Sunday with the Assetto Corsa before we come back to Adelaide again on the 16th for ASR's Christmas charity event supporting Pinkfins. So do make sure that you get along to that. If you're not racing in it, then at least make sure you're around to check it out on that Tuesday night, because it will be an absolute cracker. Adelaide will be brand new to iRacing, and I will be working my little producer butt off to get some good camera angles set up ahead of that coverage that night.
Yeah, exactly. Good job. And of course, wrapping up the Supercar series in Adelaide as well too. Had a little bit of a, would you say, a little bit of a soaking in between that as well?
Yeah, it was a tad damp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a very, very tricky race, and hopefully we don't see a repeat of that for the charity event for ASR, because that will make things very difficult indeed. I expect we'll have half decent weather for it, I would think. Ken Latta sets fastest lap 207.2, just proving what we were saying earlier, because he's had some real pace all season and just hasn't had the consistency to get the results he really needed.
The 2 race wins, wasn't it, from Ken?
Yeah,
as well,
he's
too.
Plenty fast, just hasn't fallen his way on a few occasions this season, and really does deserve a higher spot in the championship than where he currently sits. As Palmer latches onto the back of James Hardy in the Quantum Racing entry, they head up the mountain straight once again. And
Rick Vigar as well too. Thought about Brad. Brad thought about a little jump there on Todd, but he made a little mistake into Murray, and they had to both back off from their attacks at the moment and re-establish themselves, reload.
Such a tricky track
to attack again.
Such a tricky track.
It's like a first-person shooter, isn't it?
It is just
you've emptied your clip, and now you have to reload and try again.
And this is the perfect example of just how hard Bathurst is as a racetrack. Ryan Palmer has been pretty consistently quicker than James Hardy. Hardy's best at 208.67. Palmer's at 207.87. He's almost a second faster on his best lap. But trying to find somewhere to get past a slower car when it's only a second in it, you've really got to nail every corner across the top of the mountain before getting a chance perhaps to make the run down Conrod and get a pass done there. It's one of those tracks where you do have to set up a pass at the start of the lap to pull it off towards the end of the lap, and that's what makes it so much fun as a driver to be out there and pushing on.
And you got so close, as you can kind of see, that's close there out of the elbow, and then all of a sudden you go, I'm not so close, because you want to try to mount the perfect exit you possibly can. It doesn't quite always pan out, but you're also putting so much faith in the other drivers, isn't it? Because you're just hoping that where they brake is where they brake, and where you don't brake, you lift. And some people like to call it in the States too, chicken footing. That's AKA lifting as well too, chicken footing. Well, sometimes chicken footing is a smart way, especially in a long race.
Yeah. You've got to make it to the end first and foremost, and it does sometimes mean that you've got to. Or side-by-side contact there, Palmer and Hardy pushing very hard. Palmer wants to get past. He's arging through if he can, but Hardy stays firm on the inside line and pushes Palmer out to the outside of the track. We'll have to go back and have a look at that, because that was some classic Supercars manoeuvring. Brian Palmer just losing his patience a little bit, I think, and perhaps just pushing a little bit too hard. Take a look at this on the Simple Broadcast replay. Side by side here, Palmer's starting to get squeezed. They get locked together there, and then at that stage, it's just...
Pushes in. They're both committed to the corner, aren't they? They said, we both want it. Only one person can get the exit out of Murray. So that's just the situation it's going to be. But you've got a fair play, a bit of trading paints. I mean...
That's what it's all about.
You can't say that they allowed them enough space, but there is no space anywhere to allow. You've got to be a bit argy-bargy around here in Bathurst to get overtakes done.
Absolutely.
And just as long as you're not really leaning into it too much, both cars should point in the right direction.
Palmer's just got a pass done up and over through Reed Park by the look of things. Now, I'm not quite sure how he's managed to pull that off. We're going to go back and have a look at that in just a second, because that is... Either James Hardy has let him through because he's got more pace or made a mistake, or Ryan Palmer has just committed everything to getting that pass done. He didn't want to get held up any longer. Let's take a bit of a closer look at that one as we see Walker and Bentz reach the end of Conrod. Have a look at this. Palmer just absolutely sends it alongside Hardy. I can only assume that Hardy...
Yeah. He almost lost the rear end too with the speed he was carrying through there, but bold and brave there from Palmer. He would have had those seatbelts definitely tight on that one. Absolutely fantastic.
He was pushing very, very hard there, and I tell you what, that's the only way that would have happened, I think, would have been with Hardy having just a little bit of an issue on the exit from the cutting, because that's the only way that Palmer should have been able to find that pace. Even so, it required enormous commitment to make it happen. Jason Bentz,
I'm impressed with tail. Yeah, I'm impressed with the way he's keeping Wayne honest here with this, isn't it? He's not allowing Wayne to just run away with this. Not just him, but of course Ken Ladder's also lurking in the background there. So that's absolutely impressive to keep the championship leader at bay. Look how close he is.
Walker's defending. We haven't seen much of this at all this season. I can't recall the last time we saw Wayne Walker going defensive this early on in a race.
He's earning his potential championship here right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's pushing
nobody's going to give it. None of these other drivers are going to just alone walk away with that championship trophy. They're going to make sure he is not going to, just drive away with this one. They're going to make sure that he has to earn every single point that he's earned all season long to win this championship.
You get over the top here, and Walker just starts to open that gap back up. It really shows you the difference in pace between these drivers at different points on this track, and just how some drivers really do love the run over the top of the mountain, and others just absolutely nail the run down Conrod and around the front half of the circuit. It really does bring out some very, very different driving styles, all of them very, very quick all the same. There's not a slow driver amongst the field here, but it's always so interesting to see just the difference in driver strengths around a track like Bathurst.
Climbing up the mountain has been favouring Bentz for sure. In fact, even Bentz has been a little bit better, I'd say, out of Murray, sometimes out of Hell's Corner as well too. So even the chase at the moment. But you see, Wayne knows that. It's a situation of he knows he's nailed the elbow. He nails the elbow enough where you can't get Bentz down to about 1/10, which you need. The biggest problem right now, my friend, they got some traffic up the road. This is what I was talking about. This is drivers like, and these drivers are battling as well too. So you're going to be sitting there in the shoes right now of Wayne going, how do I approach this situation? Because I've got Bentz on my tailpipe. There it is, moved out of the way. Still got one more car up the road. How are they going to just dispose essentially of the 25th place car?
Damon Fisher not having a great run so far, but past he goes. And it's... Look, Walker would have been enjoying a little bit of a tow there if he could find it, because he needs every little bit of advantage he can find at this point. Have a look at how much Bentz is moving around on the run up from Griffins. Bentz has got so much extra pace out of that run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's so much better in this part of this track, isn't he? It's the ladder park, the other half of the track there, going down the hill and so forth, where he's just having to back off a little bit. Maybe he's just not confident enough just to keep committed there while he's chasing Wayne.
Yeah, look, possibly. I can't quite pick it. Look at how close they get to that wall. I love seeing these guys brushing right up against it, and I think the only reason that you don't see them losing mirrors is because iRacing doesn't model that particular type of damage. Otherwise, these guys would absolutely have no right-hand side mirror.
Get it chopped off, my friend. Yeah, exactly. Wayne knows that there's no way to overtake around here, and this is the thing. This is where Wayne starts nailing the elbow. Gets on the power early. Look. And you see a little wiggle there from Bentz. So, although it's probably been 3/10 or something coming out of the corner. It's probably one of the closest that he's been, but it's not going to be enough down Conrod Straight, because by the time he gets to the chase,
big
it'll be a late
contact.
send. It
looks like is that Mitch Wood, who's had a big moment somewhere just through the S's. I'm not quite sure what's happened. He's managed to keep it moving, but there's some serious damage to the rear right of that car.
Yeah.
He is.
I might have to get it scrutineer with the FIA, because that plank is
actually the front right is completely detached. Because
his plank's done.
I think the plank is
Too soon.
his worries right now.
All right.
Honestly, have a look at it. He's going to struggle to keep this straight down.
He's got to drive it back, but he's got to drive it back.
He's doing a great job.
You've only got a very long straight. I don't think you want to go off-road, because you get off-road incident points.
Yeah, we'll see if we can figure out just what's happened there. It's all sort of come unstuck for him. Just across the top. We might go. So let's go take a look right about here, I reckon. Oh, even that's a little bit late to pick it up. So I'm not sure what's happened just prior to that, but it has been a very big moment for Mitch Wood. He's picked up. Or maybe a little bit of contact there with Palmer.
That's the contact. Yep.
And what a place for it to happen. Like there was no hope at all of Wood getting that back under control, whether there was contact or not. Absolutely no shot of getting control back of that one. And big hit into the wall, so he's going to have to limp it back.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the pit lane at the moment there, so we'll see how that pans out for him. Because remember, they do have that one fast repair. Will he use it this early in the race, or will he chip it out? No, he has used it, actually.
Yeah, you're out of the race otherwise. That sort of damage, you'll be sitting there for easily 10-15 minutes to get the suspension repairs done. So it's...
I can get your car out there in 5 minutes. I mean, it might not be that drivable.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 minutes of repair work to last another 30 laps around Bathurst might be a bit of a stretch. Ryan Palmer's just picked up a black flag. I would almost guarantee we're about to get information from race control to confirm that that's due to the contact with Mitch Wood. As Benz comes in,
comes Benz.
Yeah, he's tired of sitting behind Walker. He wants to create a bit of space here, so he'll be going for the undercut. Wayne Walker continues. There you go. The drive-through penalty for Ryan Palmer for the contact with car 048, which is, of course, Mitch Wood. No surprises there, Biggles.
I thought this was, exactly with that incident. I'm surprised they come in a little early on that. 95% fuel capacity. Like, you think they go a lot deeper in this one. We're only on lap 12. So
look, you're going through a fair amount of fuel around here. I wouldn't be massively surprised, and I'd have to check in. I don't know if we've got just a quick scan of all the names floating around. I don't know if we've got Jamie McKnight floating around in the chat somewhere, but
somebody let us know.
He'd be able to confirm that they probably only started with, I would think, about maybe 60 or 70 litres in the tank.
Oh, so they never topped it up to a full gas tank?
It's possible they started with a slightly empty tank, rather than
Was it just too punishing for your times if you go that heavy?
Well, no, it's more that I think the fixed setup that these guys run doesn't actually start with a full tank. So you can come in and top it off pretty nicely, but you're going to be a bit limited in what you can get out of it on the first run. So I suspect that's probably come into play there. And when you look at, we've got a range of drivers that have pitted already, but the vast bulk of them, Fisher, Varga, Rose, David Logsdale, Jim Caperonis, all from early incidents. By the look of things, Ashley Hall's in now, but Phil Manuel, Mick Clifton, Jason Bentz, the one to watch really would be David Coleman. He's probably the first genuine undercut opportunity coming in on lap 4, but he's found himself down in 19th. So Jason Bentz has come through. Yeah, Wayne Walker coming in, so that's not surprising. I reckon they're getting to the lower end of the starting fuel. You see Brad Hayes starting to reel in. Josh Harris, Ken Latta, 206.969, a stonking lap there. You'd have to think low on fuel is going to help that for sure. But no doubt he'll be in soon as well. But the one to watch, Jason Bentz, ended up a couple of positions up from David Coleman still. The question is, can he make his way around quickly enough to catch up to Wayne Walker, who's in his pit bay right now, probably going to be in there for about 25-30 seconds, you'd think, before he starts to head out. So he's probably got about 20 seconds left now before he comes out.
And DC's coming around. This is going to be really close now. But DC's unfortunately got Shane ahead of him, so that might hinder him a little bit. Sorry, he's not coming out of Chase. My apologies, not coming out of Murray just yet. So
there you go. Walker's on the pit exit now. So Walker's on the way out. He's had a really, really quick stop there. Actually, 4 seconds faster. 6 seconds quicker in the bay than Jason Bent. Now, that'll be a difference in fuel load. That's going to come into play for their second stop, for sure. But Wayne Walker has decided not to let Bentz gain anything from that undercut attempt. And Walker, you can see, well up the road and starting to navigate some of the lapped traffic already.
Yeah, he was very lucky to get past the lap car, I think, there of maybe Rose. So that's, that's crucial, which means now that Bentz will have to look at disposing that driver as well, too. But the problem is Bentz is going to be catching him up the mountain and down the mountain as well, too. But if I'm not mistaken, that's a teammate anyway. So his teammate should probably, for the Quantum Racing, just let him on by and not hinder him too much so we can get up down the road there and catch. That's Todd Martin, actually. So, yeah. Bentz and Todd Martin. He gets straight through at the top of the hill there. Exactly. So, yeah, Todd did not want to hinder Benzie, so he can get on with it. Actually, no, it wasn't.
No, that wasn't Bentz. No. That was, I believe, maybe Craig Roserush.
Another Quantum. Yeah. Just Quantum Racing all over the place. Ken Latta comes in.
See, Jason Bentz having a massive slide there.
You're right there, Jared. It's Ken Latta's into pit road.
Just recovering from a poorly timed.
You're having a massive slide in the booth up here, mate. You're right.
Yeah, doing all right. All of a sudden realising I didn't bring the water in with me tonight. That was a poor choice. Wayne Walker goes past Rick Vigar. He's up into 10th again already. He's going to go past, you'd have to think, Latta, Rushworth and Hayes as he comes past the pits here. Walker's almost unstoppable.
Almost. Never say never. Nice little battle, of course, of DC got past and Mark. But these drivers have all taken a pit stop as well, too. DC went on lap 4. Mark went on lap 12. And that's the battle down there for essentially 14th and 15th at the moment, which will end up being 12th and 13th because we have Andrew Rushworth and Brad Hayes. They've gone into pit lane for the first time here this evening between those two drivers. And there you have it, Jared. So, and your bottom screen, the battle there for 12th and 13th. And your top screen, of course, Wayne Walker up there trying to slice his dice through his field.
And the really interesting thing to note here, Ken Latta has taken a relatively quick stop as well, and he's actually gotten out ahead of Bentz, which is not a bad move at all. So Bentz, the undercut he's looking for, he's going to have to find that a little later on in this race, really, because it's not going to come to him this time around.
No, sir. Top 6 drivers at the moment still head down to pit road, as well as Rick Vigar there for the Angry Birds Racing in P8. So when they're going to come in, it's up to those drivers, as you said. We're still waiting on confirmation from the chat from some of our driving experts. Well, Sean Van der Molen comes in at the moment for the Fisher-Price Racing steering wheel, as far as Maddie and Luke.
Yeah, interesting. Jamie Dyke's still pushing on. I kind of wonder, we know Dyke is a bit of a fuel-saving master. I do wonder if he's decided to go full fuel save from the start here and really drive very, very particularly to a fuel number. He's gonna need to pick up a lot of extra time and distance to make it worthwhile. He's only, 30-odd seconds ahead of Wayne Walker at the moment, which is, it's half a pit stop. It's not a whole pit stop, and that's going to be the challenge. Wayne Walker, 206.622. Those fresh tyres immediately showing their pace. Ken Latta, though, just watch for him on this lap, because this will be his first hot lap after his pit stop, and I reckon we'll probably see a pretty quick lap from him as well.
3 seconds back down the road there from Wayne Walker, of course, who just at the fastest lap. So it'll be interesting to see what Ken can do at this point. He's got Rick Vergar behind him that hasn't taken a pit stop yet, so that'll help out Jason Bentz when he does come in, unless Jason Bentz will have to get the overtake done on the track, but he's a little bit down the road from him. But there's still the top three: Jamie Dyke, Chad Vergar, and Craig Schultz still to come in pit road, mate.
Yeah, it's I can't imagine that any of the top three at the moment will really be coming out anywhere particularly strong after their pit stops. But this is the thing: the longer you can hold on before you do have to come in and take those stops, the more you've got a chance of something going wrong that blocks this track up behind you, and you pick up some extra space and time as a result. And that'd be the ideal scenario for Dyke, for Vygar, for Schultz out in front. They would love to see a massive accident across the top of the mountain right about now that really blocks it up, slows everyone down. Sure, it'll bring a safety car on, but it'll add a fair amount of time for them to get in and out of those pits and hopefully still be up front somewhere. You wouldn't wish it on another driver, but you also wouldn't complain either. Car 69 confirmed as hardware failure. Jim Caparonis, unfortunately, is out for the evening.
Yeah, we figured that. I
Not
was
surprised
confirmed
at all.
there in the chat almost as well. To a hard lick into the fence like that is not something that experienced drivers will do.
No,
But
absolutely right. G'day,
in
Blindly,
this
welcome to the
championship's standings as well too, well, Dean is not out there at the moment at all, so it's really up to Matt Vanderkron to try to take anything he possibly can away from Wayne Walker in this championship. But at the moment, Wayne Walker currently running in P3, which might end up being P1 soon enough as Jamie Dyke and Craig Schultz go into pit road. And where is Matty? Currently running an 8th, which will net him probably a 5th at the moment. But he needs to finish first, and I think with your mathematics you had all calculated there, what would be the positions now that Wayne would have to be behind if Matt, for example, wins this race?
Honestly, the closest it could get, and this is the problem for Dean Logsdale. He's out tonight, so I can't see Logger hanging on to his P2 in the championship, unfortunately. For Matt Vanderkran, for Mark Poynton, for Jason Bentz, really, there's some numbers for us to do there to try and figure out second and third place amongst them. I cannot see any combination of results. We've got 29 cars here tonight. Like we said earlier, for Vanderkran to take the championship, he'd have to win, and Walker would have to finish in 24th. For Mark Poynton to win,
24th. Okay.
Yeah. For Poynton, Walker would have to finish in 26th for to a Mark Poynton win tonight for that to happen. It's mathematically possible, but the idea that's going to happen is almost absurd, isn't it? Jamie Dyke into the pits, as well. I do want to go back and just take another look. We might go on board and slow it right down, and just get a bit of a view of that moment of hardware failure for Jim Caparonis. And it was just here. Keep a very, very close eye on that wheel. You're going to see it flick very hard to left. He's controlling it here, no problems. But then, as he we're on board with the wrong person.
Yeah,
here. What's happened
two
with Poynton here?
two cars back. It was the car up the road, one car back. Yep.
Here with this. Here we go. Jim Caparonis. Watch the wheel just go. There it is.
There
Bang.
it is. Yeah,
Hard
nobody
left.
does that. Not even. I mean, unless a cat or a dog jumped on your lap or something like that. But even that, you wouldn't yank the steering wheel to the left.
If you're doing that intentionally with your steering wheel, your wrists, your arms do not survive that sort of thing. That was absolutely a hardware disconnect.
Especially really, for a direct drive wheel as well too. It's almost impossible to yank a direct drive wheel like that to the left. Yeah. Like it actually takes
from
a little
slightly
bit.
right to a.
It takes
a
about 2-3 seconds, doesn't it, of full push to get to that, and that was an instantaneous within a millisecond. So, well, that's
a
a hardware
massive
fault.
giveaway of a hardware fault.
Yep.
Every time. Palmer now.
Guess who's back in the lead?
Oh, Wayne Walker.
After
Who'd have
those
thought?
pit stops.
Who'd have thought, mate? He's been pushing on hard. The really interesting thing is how the gaps have worked out, though. Ken Latta, I mean, Jason Bentz was all over the back of Wayne Walker, and Ken Latta was a second or so back from those two most of the way around. At the moment, the undercut hasn't paid off yet. Now, in saying that, we've got to look at long-term strategy here. They've got to come in for another pit stop yet, and there's still, 24 laps left to run here. We're approaching the halfway point of this race. We know there's another pit stop to come. The real question will be, can Jason Bentz cut enough time out of his second stop to make up the gap in the stops this time around? Bentz was 4 seconds slower in the pits than Wayne Walker. He was 2 seconds slower than Ken Latta. Does that mean that he's going to be able to pick up at least 4 seconds in his next pit stop to be back neck and neck with Wayne Walker? He's got to think really, really carefully about his track position, about his fuel saving from here, and really start to measure that out. Already he is a little bit further back than he'd probably like to be. As we see Josh Harris pushing hard there. He's in behind. We've got back one slot here behind Shane Cudby and just chasing him up and over the mountain. They come down through the S's once again, and Cudby is an ADHD sandwich at the moment. Not the ideal place for anyone to be.
Oh, well, it depends. At the moment, we've got an accelerated team racing sandwich. Well, not really sandwich, but we're Andrew as well as Mick Clifton.
Two teammates coming up there. Josh Harris is side by side on the way down Conrod, and looks to have the better run out of Forest Elbow, but Cudby's going to be pushing hard. Even if they do end up side by side in the chase, as long as Harris can hold with him, see Cudby dropping behind. Just doesn't quite have the pace. Oh, he's actually tried to reverse it there. I thought for a moment he was going to go for a big dive up the inside. Harris, though, it's throwing Harris completely. And he's run well off track. He's got the slow down, but so does Cudby. Cudby's run a bit off the track there as well. Harris has already cleared his. Cudby hasn't yet. So very, very close to Harris losing that spot. But Shane Cudby, unfortunately, I think probably followed him through just a little bit. And they put each other off there almost.
That's chasing the driver and not chasing your racing line. That happens quite a bit, actually. And Todd Martin gets past, actually, Shane. So Todd Martin for the Quantum Racing entrance, he'll get himself up 2 places into P20 at the moment, capitalising on the mistake there from Shane. Yeah, it is easy to do, isn't it? Because you are focusing on trying to battle the car, but at the same time, if that car makes a mistake, you make the mistake as well. So Formula One drivers do it. So, the best drivers in the world will make mistakes by chasing other cars.
Yeah, happens all the time. We'll go back and we'll take another look at that one, because it was an interesting moment as Josh Harris, keep an eye on him, he just completely misses the braking marker, and Cudby goes way too far inside, ends up going off track all the same, and I think Josh Harris getting very, very lucky to not give the spot up there. Just didn't brake as hard as he should have in the end. He looked like he had it under control, but just couldn't make the corner. I do wonder a little bit if he saw Cudby's massive swing to the inside and was worried that he wasn't going to get it pulled up at all there, and so he's actually run off the track rather than get T-boned. It wouldn't surprise me. Josh Harris probably watching very, very closely in that rearview mirror. Poynton and Coleman find themselves back together. This battle for 6th continues post pit stops, and David Coleman, he's right in amongst it. A couple of Fisher Motorsports drivers featured here. Ken Latta took a really early pit stop too
for DC. Remember, he boxed on lap 4.
Yeah.
So these other drivers around him took on lap 12s, 13s, 14s at the moment. As Lindy Gaming at there, 77 says hello to you as well too. Welcome and tuning in and enjoying the finale race of the Alliance Sim Racing finale here at Bathurst, the mountain.
We take a look at just some of the moves so far across the field, and as we get through that first round of pit stops, it's almost remarkable to see so little change in that top 5. Latta and Bentz have swapped spots, but maybe a temporary state of affairs if Benz can get his second pit stop cut down a bit in time. But the top 5 virtually unchanged. You have a look at the rest of the field though. Massive gains across a number of drivers there. You know, Poynton we're watching now up 6 spots. David Coleman's up 3. Luke Orman, probably one of the bigger casualties, being down 4 at the moment. But Rushworth up 7. James Hardy up 6. Bygar and Hayes up 8 and 6 respectively. Damon Fisher, a shocker way for him to finish his season if he finishes where he is at the moment. He's down 15 at this point, which is incredibly unusual. Not what he would have had in mind, I'm sure. But that is the nature of racing at times. It gives, it takes away, and we are pretty well at the halfway point.
Giveth and taketh.
Yes,
exactly.
It does.
Here we go. Let's see whether or not DC can give a position there. And will it be taketh away there from Mark Poynton?
Look at the slide from Poynton. Absolutely pushing those rear tyres on the way through Murray's and on the way up the hill. He's really struggling to hold David Coleman off at the moment. Ninja, good to have you back in the chat again, mate. It is a spread out field at the moment, and I think what we're seeing here is a number of different pit strategies coming through. When we take a look at the...
We've got somebody off into Hell's Cut out of Murray's actually first victim in the corner.
I'm surprised it's taken us this long, and most surprising to me of all is the fact that we haven't had a safety car yet. That is almost unheard of at Bathurst, I reckon. But look, let's take a look at the time spent in the pit bays, and this might give you a bit of a clue as to just what's going on with this field being so spread out. We've got a number of drivers that have all spent somewhere around that 27-second mark, so some pretty consistent fuel numbers being added there, but there's quite a bit of variation still. You've got some 29s, some 33s in there as well. Mick Clifton going 36 seconds, so really loading up on the fuel. Craig Schulz, I wonder what's happened there for him to take so long. I'd have to think either some repairs or something similar, because that's starting to get a bit excessive. It is a very, very different range of pit stop times that we've seen so far here tonight. And the big one to watch really is Jason Bentz, that long stop on his first one. He really needs that to pay off in the second stop with a much, much quicker pit time to try and close that gap back up and be challenging Walker in the latter stages of this race. It's looking difficult for him, I'll be honest. He lost, as we said, 4 seconds in the pits that first time around.
Yeah, he did.
He's now 6.1 back.
Yeah, Ken with the quick pit stop is the 28, isn't it? And 33, and Wayne Walker the 27. As the battle still continues, a big battle there for 6th and 7th at the moment. And more importantly for Mark, of course, in the championship, going into the finale race here this evening, being in P4 currently at the moment. And so he's looking at battling his way essentially for a P2 at this point, because he's not going to be able to beat Wayne Walker, of course, unless he finishes the race, and Wayne's way down the field there. But Matty Vanderkron up the road, Matty's ahead of him in the championship, so that's the battle. He needs to get past Matty, and then he gets to get past Wayne as well, to just sit back, relax, and hope that something happens to Wayne Walker, who still has his fast repair up his sleeve anyway. So if anything does happen to our championship leader at this point, he's still got an ace up his sleeve.
Yeah, it's not a bad one to hold on. Look at the amount of lock that David Coleman's putting into those front tyres. That is a huge amount in any car, and he's really asking a lot, starting to really push the tyres to try and stay with Mark Poynton. Ninja, we'll come back to you in a second and give you an update on that one. We're just going to go for a bit of a run on board here with Coleman, just to give you an idea of just how hard they're working to keep these cars on track. Coleman is probably running a slightly intentionally slower lap than what a lot of the other drivers are. He tends to favour a slightly different strategy, just in terms of fuel saves, as does Jamie Dyke for that matter. Two Fisher Motorsports drivers do like to mix it up a bit in terms of their strategy, but even so, have a look at how much Coleman's having to work the wheel just to keep this car pointed in the right direction as he tries to stay on the back of Mark Poynton. That gap really starting to open up now as we head on down Conrod Straight, and you can see the speed climbing into 6th gear at 260 plus k an hour, 275 over the crest, and we're going to hit pretty close to 300 as we get to the chase. 295 if I'm not mistaken just
Come
as
on,
he
my
jumps in the
Skyline
brakes
could
there.
do over 300. Look,
I have some doubts that it'd do that these days,
wiggle
mate.
out of the corner there from Mark. It might put him under a bit of pressure as well too on that one. But is there enough time to take it into Murray? No. He may think about Hells and making out the road there. Go ahead, sorry, Jerry.
We're just coming back to Ninja. You must have missed it a little earlier. Jim Caperonis, unfortunately, having a hardware failure that sent him spearing into the left-hand wall just after the cutting. So did find himself out of the running here this evening as a result of that. We'll take another look at it for you as we
Poor
jump
Jim.
back to it. Oh, look,
He's like, I don't want to see it.
it's not the way
It's
that
not
you
his
want
fault,
to.
Clark.
It's
It's
not the
not
way
his
that you
fault.
want to finish the season, is it? But it's something that happens. Sim racing hardware failures are a fact of life from what we've seen in this season particularly. And Jim Caperonis, no exception to that. Have a look at this one. Bang, big flip into the left wall, and that was him done. And unfortunately, David Fisher behind him getting caught up in it, and nothing to it.
No, he was racing because when you're on the bumper of another car anyway, you're racing, not expecting them to stop on a dime, which literally is just what happened as you saw. So that's just, but that can happen to any driver at any time. So that's just the nature of the beast. And I'd say that's the great thing about sim racing is it also does simulate technical malfunctions with your equipment and your racing rig. And it just happens.
I don't know if it's a simulated technical malfunction when it's an actual technical malfunction like that.
Yeah, well, actual technical malfunction.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cars, of course, can
real.
break down, right? Your car can blow up and overheat in real life. And of course, what happens is your pedals can disheat. Or somebody, once again, hopefully no drivers are on Wi-Fi, but I've seen it before in the past where, somebody goes to operate the microwave, and of course it's on 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and it just interferes with the Wi-Fi, and then bang, your internet drops out. Another wiggle at the moment. Yeah, DC did that as well too, coming out of the elbow earlier when he was manning the attack there on Mark. And just, because you want to put the power down as early as you possibly can out of the elbow to make that run, of course, down Conroy Straight. But you had too much wheel spin, cost you a couple of tenths, which means you have to back off as Rick Degar as well too from the Angry Bird race and gets an off-track something, and he's got to slow down from P16.
He's all on his own and needing to burn that one off. These guys just about the closest on track at the moment. This is that awkward mid-period, isn't it? In any Bathurst race that's more than about 10 laps, the pit strategies really do play such a massive part of a race around here, and you end up with this field. Like we've got a good-sized field here tonight. 29 cars entered. Unfortunately, Mitch Wood and Jim Caperonis both out. Stephen Varga looks to be out as well, although that might just be, I think, a momentary disconnection for him. He looks to be back in it, which is a good thing. It's one of those tracks that you wouldn't expect to see, 3 or 4 seconds gap between every car, but while they're all running these different pit strategies, it absolutely can happen. Ryan Palmer is absolutely hurtling towards Brad Hayes at the moment. He's cut about 3/10 off in the last 30 seconds. That last lap, in fact, a 2:08.78 for Palmer to Hayes 10.17. So Ryan Palmer has some work to do to make up for his black flag earlier on when he pretty much, straight up murdered Mitch Wood. We did see that one replay a little earlier, and he's had his drive through, and he's now trying to make his way back up through the field, and doing so at a pretty rapid rate of knots. As we see on the picture-in-picture there, David Coleman and Mark White still going at it, but Palmer is set to close this gap pretty quickly, I would think, and Brad Hayes is going to be under some pressure before we even get to the dipper at this point.
Yeah, we're keeping on the two closest battles currently at the moment. As you're going to see, DC trying to put pressure there on Mike Pointon again, but at the biggest, closest battle, you'd have to say there is Hayes and Palmer. So keep your eyes peeled on that one, my friend, because that might deserve the whole shot. As you can see, Ryan Palmer's concentration at the moment there for the ADHD racing driver. The SpongeBob helmet.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Ryan. I've known the bloke for about, 12 months or so, maybe a little longer now in various ways. And just looking at storm past Hayes, nothing to it. He looks so serious when he's behind the wheel. And then you'll have a chat to the bloke, and
He's not,
outside of the cockpit, he's anything but.
Oh yeah.
It's this real disconnect, and I think the SpongeBob helmet really sums it up beautifully, because that is the dual nature of Ryan Palmer as a race driver. He's
it was like
along.
It was like Nelson Piquet apparently in the paddock in Formula One. He was like this absolute jokester behind the scene, you know, always playing, just joking and playing tricks and stuff like that. But when he's in the car, he's, you know, they're all serious, and that's what I mean. Daniel Ricciardo as well too. You know, he seems like he's an absolute jokester on the camera, but when he's behind the wheel, he's serious. He's all about motor racing. You do your job. You do your job as best of your ability. And that's exactly the situation that you find with some of these drivers here at Alliance Sim Racing.
I mean, to be fair, when you're paid as much money as someone like Daniel Ricciardo is, you'd want to take it pretty seriously, wouldn't you? You have to think you take it pretty seriously.
You see him off camera and you go, is this guy a serious racing driver? But, you know, in there, he's copy, clear, you know, the radio calls, no messages, no messing around. He's the opposite. And everybody in every team says that, you know, that Daniel is just nothing but serious when he's in the cockpit. Outside the cockpit, hey, sometimes he's a bit of a clown. He's just joking around. He's mucking around. He's having fun.
Why not? Why not? Craig Schul's starting to close in on James Hardy. This is the battle for 13th. A little further back in the pack, and Schul's really having a pretty solid run. He pitted on 16. Hardy's on 4-lap older tyres at the moment, so probably starting to really feel that. And I do wonder, you know, what the strategy is going to look like over the next 5 or 6 laps. You'd almost expect the drivers to start to be pitting in pretty soon for that second stop. That said, you know, I've got money on Jason Bentz being able to run an extra couple of laps here with the additional fuel that I think he's taken on. And that's going to be really, really key for him. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, because Walker and Ladder really are going to set the tone for a lot of these drivers coming in for that second stop. You'll see.
Ashley's had a moment as well too. I'll show that little picture. It's at the top of the mountain, but it's off the racing line. Ashley Hall for the Quantum Racing. So
tell us it's not.
It's got no front end at the moment. Pulled off to the side here. Maybe just sitting there waiting to get back on the track. Yes, it will down to the dipper. But of course, how bad is the handling of that car right now?
Go back and we'll take a quick look and see if we can pick up what's happened. But I reckon I know it might be the Puddle of Doom minus the puddle, and sure enough, it's that curb on the right.
Oh!
Every time you see someone crash there, you know they've gone up and over that
Puddle
curb.
of Doom. There's no puddle there, mate.
There's no puddle this time, but it's that same curb. That curb has caused so many issues for so many drivers.
That's not the Jared Cole corner, was it? No.
It was. It certainly was.
Was it? Is that the Jared Cole corner?
It's exactly that curb. And in fact, we might jump. Let's jump on the nose cam here with Craig Schulz, and take a look at it. Jeez, you can see him having to back off there as Hardy struggles to keep that car under control. It's this one here. You come over this little crest, and as you come around the left-hander, if you go too wide out to the right here and get up and over that curb on the right, that's when you're going to end up with that issue. It happens over and over again.
Right.
It's big lock-up for Hardy.
Whoa!
Tell you what,
hold my beer corner.
Yeah,
that should be called that, and there goes Chelsea.
Wow, Craig Schulz having a moment as well. So both the drivers reaching the absolute limits of their tyres at the moment. Nothing too much in terms of contact, but all of a sudden...
That's on you, Jared.
It is. This is what happens when we go and have a look at the onboard, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
We might jump a little bit further up, because this is still going on, would you believe? Mark Poynton and David Coleman unable to be separated. Coleman still right on Poynton's tail as they make their way up the mountain once again. Lap 26 and 41. Wayne Walker out in front and looking almost certain to solidify his hold on the championship tonight. He'll be walking away with this one this evening as the Season 6 champion. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind at this point. Ken Ladder, Jason Bentz, Matt Vanderkram, Mark Poynton, all still mathematically in a contest for the remaining places, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to figure out who exactly walks away with it at the end. David Logsdale's had a big moment. Let's take a look. And, he's overshot it. and has hit the inside wall and dipping out. That's a really, really awkward spot to be stopped. Ken Latta goes through. You can see just sneaking through there, and thankfully for David, he's managed to get it mostly out of the way. I don't know though whether
a drop there in the way.
Well, I mean, it happens. It happens up there, doesn't it?
Careful, careful. There's roos, drop bears, wombats, all sorts of stuff you can find down here in Bathurst. Joe and I will know. We're going on a road trip.
Well, we may as well, mate. We may as well. Honestly, it's
I'm
on my
not in the same
list.
car with you and the kids singing songs all the way down to Bathurst, mate. I don't want to be in my own car.
No, that's totally fine. I don't want to be in the car with the kids on the drive down to Bathurst either, honestly.
I might fly, actually.
Actually, second thoughts, maybe we'll fly, mate. Maybe that is for the best. It is one of those things that's it's kind of, on my list of things to do before I...
We should do it. We've got so many community members in the Australian racing community across the board of all the leagues, of course, that you produce as well, too, on simple racing broadcasters. I mean, there is, I know
a bunch from around
Newcastle
Newcastle.
People. And then I got about 5 or 6 drivers that I know that actually live in Bathurst that probably you didn't crash on the sofa for special events. So we'll organise that.
I know that
You're going to bring your racing rig down so we can do some broadcasts from there too, mate.
Oh, maybe. I know that Ryan and Josh from ADHD have organised a group of a few people to head on down for the Bathurst 12-hour next year, and they'll be hanging out on the hill.
Actually, I'll do it. I'll head down, actually.
It might be a bit late to get a spot now, honestly. They fill up pretty quick for the 12-hour.
Oh, no, we got mates track side. We've got mates that live on the track. Anyway.
But I do remember last year from the 12-hour. I believe it was 12-hour.
Didn't they show
getting some photos sent through of these guys up on the hill overlooking Skyline.
Holding the Nicol one.
Holding the Nicol one with the Simple Racing broadcast up on a projector on the side of the caravan.
I remember that, yes.
Not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all. It's a good way to do things. David Coleman is pushing so hard. He's trying everything. Mark Poynton is just absolutely rock steady at the moment. But look at Coleman close it in. A brilliant run down through Forest. Poynton gets the power down and starts to extend those. So, Coleman reels it in and picks up a bit of pace, and then all of a sudden it goes away again. As soon as Poynton gets on the power of the exits, it's all about that racing line. And unfortunately at the moment just not paying off for David Coleman. We'll jump across now though, because Ryan Palmer has caught up to Rick Vigar, so this is now the battle for 14th. And Palmer is going to be locked in here 2/10 off the back of Rick Vigar.
Insert Jaws theme music. Dun, 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 dun. But what are you going to do it, Ryan? What are you going to do? We're seeing pit stops there from Matt Vernickeren and Mark Poynton as well, so we'll see how that pans out a little bit later. But look at this battle down the mountain, mate.
I reckon Palmer's got to just hang in there at the moment and wait for Conrad to make the pass. He's got to stay right with Vigar. But I don't know, is he close enough? Vigar's had a great run down into Forest, but Palmer on the exit, here we go. He's starting to reel it in. He's back down to 2.5 He's got just a little bit of aero to benefit him. The question will be, which side of the track does Vigar go to? Does he stay defensive, or does he let Palmer kind of roll on through? Here goes Palmer. He's looking so close behind, got plenty of pace. Vigar's held his line. Palmer, rare show of maturity and patience. I tell you what, he wasn't patient on the throttle on the way back out, but he didn't push anywhere near as hard as I expected him to chase. He wants to make sure this move sticks when he makes it. The question will be, does he do it now, or does he go another run up and over the mountain before he actually does try and make the move? I don't know. He's right there with Rick, and you've got to think that Ryan's got the pace. If he can just get the exit out of Hell Corner here and the run up Mountain Straight, he should have it. And you can see the time starting to come down. It's not quite going to be quick enough, though, I don't think. If Palmer's going to make a move, he's going to have to be very, very brave about it here. Let's see what he's got. Has a big look to the inside. He's thinking about it, puts the pressure on. Oh, big lockup. Very lucky not to go into the rear bar of Rick Vigar. And still, Palmer maintains the 2/10 gap. I tell you what, Vigar is probably sweating looking at those mirrors, because there's not a lot of room for error here. And Palmer is throwing absolutely everything at the moment. Wayne Walker's into the pits. Ken Ladder's into the pits. Jason Bentz comes in. This is going to be really interesting. Watch the bottom of your screen here, folks. Bence is in. What you're looking for is a faster time in the pit bay. So those flashing red lights, the flashing red words rather, I suppose. Once they hit their pit bay, the timer starts. Bence needs to be at least 4 seconds quicker than
What's happening
Walker.
down there, Ted? Yeah. So Ken's just behind him actually in the pit box, and believe it or not, we're going to have Bence to slip in right between them, as you can see there. So that will go through them. There's a couple of people looking at them down there from the Bird's Eye, what do you have to say, premium tickets at the moment. There's not even a fancy corporate box. Yeah, all right. So
Walker's down off the jack. So Walker comes out. Bence has not picked up the pace that he was looking for. Ken Ladder is out.
comes out.
And Bence right behind him.
Yep.
But yeah, fortunately, Jason Bence not finding the extra time that he needed in that pit stop. So it looks like this race is decided for Wayne Walker. 9.5 seconds behind Chad Vigar at the moment, but 3 seconds back to Ken Ladder is going to be more than enough for Walker to hold that on.
And that battle's over, you saw on the screen as well too, because DC, who comes in?
Vigar's gone into the pits.
So yeah.
Palmer will continue on, and what he'll be looking at now is Luke Orman just coming out of the pits. There we go, the Team AJR driver just making his exit now. He'll be on cold tyres. Palmer is going to have to be thinking about a pit stop soon, but right now he's got heat in the tyres, he's got low fuel, he's going to have pace, and he's going to want to keep moving past Orman here. Don't know if he's going to get a shot at it that quickly though.
Well, there's no way of knowing where this race is going. Let's not bring Willy Wonka into this.
I don't know, Matt. I'm feeling pretty confident to call this one for Wayne Walker.
You get the golden ticket? I think the man's got the golden ticket at the moment. It's the number one machine of Wayne Walker. He's the man going to the... he might be owning Willy Wonka's candy factory after this championship.
Yeah, it's good to see though. Like great to see him back up last season's win with another win this season.
Sean comes in as well too to pit road.
It's a pretty big deal in the company that he's in here. I reckon the ASR admin have got to start thinking about just having a chat to Wayne and figuring out which his least favourite tracks are, and just making an entire season full of those, because
Monaco.
That might
Let's get Monaco scanned.
That might be the only thing that stops him at this point.
Yeah.
Jamie Dyke even. I mean, he's out in front at the moment. Still needs to come in for his second stop. Wayne Walker.
Chad Vigar comes in as well too, mate. So those two drivers are in pit road at the moment to give you a little Ted pit road prodding down there. So
Wayne Walker's 12.5 seconds back from Jamie Dyke. There is just no way that Jamie has any kind of fuel strategy happening here that's going to bring him out in contention at the top of this. And he's the only driver on track who is ahead of Wayne Walker right now. Just about everyone has been through for their second stop. The only one's Craig Schultz coming in right now, and this man on the screen right now, Jamie Dyke. That's it. So,
have you seen the Formula One movie where Brad Pitt will do elect, or Sonny Hayes, whatever, will elect to just deliberately slow down the other cars there and just go, oh well, just this strategy. Of course, nothing to do with real Formula One does that, but Jamie Dyke can go, all right, well, I'll do a Sonny Hayes. I'll try to slow down Wayne Walker as much as possible to bring my other fishy motorsports with Ken Ladder, of course, into play here.
And this will be the.
Have you started the F1 movie, Jamie Dyke?
I suspect that he probably hasn't. It's the wrong sort of body shape for him. I think he enjoys the tin tops way too much to be interested in anything open wheel. But it'd be interesting to get him into one.
Do you agree with that out there in the chat? Yeah, should Jamie Dyke be the Sonny Hayes and help out his teammate?
Let's take a look at this. Right, Ken Ladder realistically too far back in the point standings to feature at the top of the table. Dean Logsdale was in second before tonight, but only holds 37-point lead over Matt Vanderkraan. We're looking at Vanderkraan, Poyton, and Bence.
Who was that? Getting off the.
I'd say that was probably.
That was getting a little messy on the outside there.
Yeah, not actually sure who it was on the way through. Coleman getting very, very close behind Poyton once again. I don't know if this might be the run that he's got, because he's coming through in a real hurry. Wayne Walker sends a 206.1.
Wow, bold, brave son.
Poynton stays defensive. Coleman doesn't anticipate it and ends up having to back out of it. I reckon that was probably about the closest to a shot at passing point that he's going to find here. But he's going to have
He's still
another
been
run
at it for so many laps now, haven't they?
Great battle.
Mark and DC.
Absolutely fantastic battle. So Logsdale's going to drop away and unfortunately will drop out of the podium spots tonight. There's no question about that. Vanderkraan, Poynton and Betts. Right now, Betts sitting in 4th, Vanderkraan in 6th, Poynton in 7th. Jason Bentz to leapfrog. Look, let me do some quick maths on this, right? But Bentz to leapfrog Poynton needs to finish, what does he need? 18 points plus some over Mark Point. So he's going to need probably 2 spots on Poynton. I reckon he's going to be pushing pretty close to that at this point. I'll do some maths in the background here, Biggles, but I reckon there's a real shot here if Bentz can hold his position, and particularly if Poynton doesn't pick up another one. I reckon it's going to be Bentz and Vanderkraan 2nd and 3rd in the championship.
Ooh, that's right.
But there's not going to be a lot in it. Let's have a look. Vanderkraan, if the standings finish where they are right now, Vanderkraan's going to go to 2nd. There's no. Yeah, look, Vanderkraan will go to 2nd.
So you mean to say they're battling for sheep stations, really?
Yeah, pretty well. I've got to figure out where Jason Bentz though is going to end up here. If everything stays where it is and he finishes in 4th, and Mark Poynton continues into 7th, then that's going to allow for what is that? 18 points. The difference. We might actually end up. We might actually end up with a tie for 3rd.
That'll come down to race results.
That'll come down to a countback.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be really tight at the end of this evening.
Feels like it's a Formula 1 championship, isn't it? Battling for at least 2nd and 3rd.
Vanderkraan has found himself far enough ahead of Jason Bentz that even finishing where he is right now, he should wrap up 2nd for the season. But Bentz and Poynton is going to be a very, very close thing at the end of this evening. And I would not be keen to put money on it either way at this point. It's going to be such a close thing.
Yeah, please gamble responsibly out there.
Not at all is the only responsible way to gamble, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right on that one.
Especially on a night like tonight when it's so close.
Casinos or bookies always win at the end of the day. You can just gamble for fun, as in not real money. just say in the chat. It doesn't cost you anything in the chat to say who you think can wrap that 2nd spot in the championship up at the moment as
Vanderkraan's got it. If he can hold on, Vanderkraan's got 2nd.
He's got his Fisher-Price steering wheel. I mean, he's holding on to that.
No, you're thinking Vandermeulen, and this is where it gets confusing.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. Yes.
These two being so close together on track and so close in name. I mean, not so much the latter part of it, but the Vanderkraan story is one that thankfully we haven't had to cover too much of tonight. They were running nose to tail for a little while there, but post pit stops,
problem from
quite a bit of a gap.
Davey as well too, mate. I think he had a little bit of a moment up the hill. Oh, there it is, this little tap into the hill. I'll go back and have a look at that one. He's had a big moment, mate. And there it is, he had a tank slapper on the inside, spun around, but he got moving again, so shouldn't bring out, unfortunately, Tim or Brad that are waiting down there. And Jamie Dykes
so patient, aren't they? David Fisher lets Vargs through and drops back into 22nd.
So Dyke comes down.
Yeah, look, he was always going to be in the pits fairly late on here, and he will drop further back through the field. He's not going to play any part in the front end of this one, unfortunately. Poynton and Coleman on the way past.
Wayne the Batman Walker.
You're not making it stick, Biggles. You're not making it stick.
The first time I mentioned it tonight, because I haven't actually spoken to Wayne about that one. if he was happy from last time, but Wayne doesn't need no introductions, my friend. If you really go back and look at his history this evening, through this season, he's done 19 races, 6 wins, 14 top 5, 17 top 10. So I don't think just the way
Consistency is
walking needs
next level,
any
isn't it?
introduction.
It's just nutty. Honestly, that kind of consistency is not something that you see all that often in such a competitive field of drivers. And yet here we are, and we've got those sort of numbers at the end. And Walker has had just an absolute blind. Oh, that's a really awkward spot for, I think that might have been Craig Rose just crawling up the hill.
It was Craig
there.
Rose, yeah. You were correct on that one. See if I can find Craig Rose for you. He's back on there, but he's pretty dinged up, mate.
Yeah, he had a
front end.
pretty big hit by the look of things into the wall a little earlier on.
See if I can get a little replay of that for
I
you.
suspect that might be something to do with it. But for these guys,
there it is.
Yeah, just out of the cutting and all sorts of sideways. What an awkward spot, too.
Well,
Like,
what's amazing
completely
is that
sideways.
drivers have managed to get off the racing line and not get Tim or Brad out.
Yeah, look, it's so important for drivers to be switched on to yellow flags in road racing, and too often you see it in particularly official races here on iRacing. So many drivers see a yellow flag and it's just an acknowledgement that they're going to pick up a free position or two around the corner. And you know, when that sort of stuff happens, that's when you end up with those massive pile-ups where people don't pay attention to those flags, they don't pay attention to the need to slow down, they just charge on through. And what you're seeing here tonight is exactly the way that cars should be driven around a racetrack. If there's a yellow flag out, you've got to be aware of what's around the corner, especially somewhere like Bathurst with so many such blind entries and exits. You really just cannot afford to stay on the loud pedal all the way through. You've got to be ready to avoid whatever's ahead of you. And
You're saying
of course,
chicken lifting.
I'm saying survival of the smartest. Going through a blind corner at Bathurst with your foot buried in the throttle.
Jerry Cole is not
never
employed
good
by
idea.
Netflix. There's no Drive to Survive here at the moment. It's
That's it. If
Is it
Netflix
more employed by,
are looking,
the BBC network of nature channels there by David Edmund.
look, I'm not going to turn down a gig on Drive to Survive if Netflix do come knocking. I'll be honest. I just feel like the likelihood is pretty low as we see Coleman again closes in on the way up the hill. Poynton has done a brilliant job of defending here tonight. He's managed to hold Coleman at bay for such a long time. Jamie Dyke now starting to catch these two. He's on fresh tyres, so he's going to have a whole lot of extra pace. I do wonder if perhaps Dyke might have what it takes to catch and then pass both Coleman and Poynton. You'd have to think there's been a little bit of chat between the two Fishy Motorsports entries about, just what the plan is here, because Dyke is on essentially brand new tyres at this point. He's probably on his second or third lap on these ones, so he'll be starting to drop off pace a little bit now, but he's reeled these guys right in, and a great opportunity for him to pick up a couple of extra spots in the dying laps of this race. Right now, we'll take a bit of a wander through the field, shall we? Wayne Walker crosses the line to start lap number 35, and really this race has been almost an analogy for the entire season, with just an absolutely dominating performance, currently sitting 4 seconds ahead of Ken Latta behind him, who's just coming up Mountain Straight now, and then another 4 seconds back to Jason Bentz as he comes past our camera on Mountain Straight there. Sean Vanderwill 6 seconds further back is right where he started this one, so a great showing from him, and Matt Vanderkraan in 5th, 12 seconds behind Vandermeulen. Absolutely massive gap there. It really does speak to what we were talking about earlier, because if Vandermeulen hadn't had an injury early on in the season, he would have been right in amongst it, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. Just unfortunate the circumstance, but the battle still remains at the moment. The hot spot between 6th, 7th and 8th, because Dyke's in the picture, as you'd mentioned. Last lap was a 207.25, a little bit quicker than the rest of this stuff. Whoa, showing your nose there, DC. I think Mark's going to shut the door at the moment. He realises, mate, if you're going to send it up there, that's going to be bold and brave. And we still have at least 7 laps to go on this race. So if you really want to risk it for the biscuit, well, it is the last race of the championship season. So what do you got to lose?
Let's jump on board with Jamie Dyke. This is going to be a great view of the battle up ahead, I suspect, because no one's got a better shot of David Coleman and Mark Point, and then this man right here at the moment as they follow their way down through the S's, and have a look at Dyke closing the distance to the 2 cars ahead, down through the dipper, back on the power, and down the hill. So careful here on the way through this second set of S's, and then into Forest Elbow, hug that inside wall, get on the power early, all the way out to the right-hand side, and down Conrad Straight we go. David Coleman still just cannot find the answer. He is absolutely stuck behind Mark Poynton, and these guys are going to battle it out all the way to the end. Jamie Dyke about a half second quicker around last lap. He's about to find himself faced with the same wall that David Coleman's been battling for. I think it's probably got to be, the last 20 odd laps that these guys have been locked in it in some way, shape or form?
Yeah, well, it's been ages now, mate.
Just continues on. But have a look at this. We've now got a real lineup here. Yeah, I don't think you can count out Jamie Dyke. I reckon David Coleman, have a look at this. He's going to let his teammates through because he knows Dyke's got the pace. So he knows it's time to back out. He's had way too many shots at point and hasn't been able to close it. He wants to give Jamie Dyke a real fresh crack at it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even a little bit of bump drafting here to help Jamie Dyke along on Conrad Straight. I'd almost guarantee it.
Want your money back?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Call 1-800.
No one's
Jared Cole.
No one's sent me the money so far, so I don't have to promise much back, do I?
Well, thankfully, hopefully, coming up the Adelaide race, of course, for the charity event, you can send your money.
Yeah, save
won't go
money
to Jared,
for
but
sure.
it will go to charity. Yeah,
much better cause than me, that's for sure. But we will be looking forward to that one in just about 2 weeks' time. In fact, exactly 2 weeks' time from this evening. We'll be racing around the streets of Adelaide on iRacing for the first time ever, which is
I've been
very,
streets of
very
Adelaide
exciting.
racing in my motor car. Maybe over the speed limit or under the speed limit, but not in iRacing. Yeah.
Yeah, see, iRacing is much cheaper when it comes to potential outcomes, that's for sure.
Speed tickets, yeah.
We might step away from this one for just a moment because Ryan Palmer has found his way forward to Craig Schultz and is looking like making another move on the way up the hill, which is something we've seen him do a couple of times tonight. I don't know if at this late stage he's going to have it in. Luke Orman has has he just popped the motor? I've just seen the no, that's heavy contact.
That's something
with the
damaged.
wall.
Yeah, you're right.
Heavy contact with the wall there, and he's going to have to go and get that repaired. That front left is dragging at the moment, and
it's damaged front end suspension as well too.
Flying.
So he won't be able to turn too much, but thankfully, well, for him, he'll be scrubbing some speed. Going to get off the racing line, allow the other drivers to come through at the moment down Conrad Straight, which is painfully slow at that speed for the drivers. But it could be worse. You could, if you'd done it at the Hell's Corner, you got a long way to go. Whoa!
So it was actually contact with David Logsdale in that one, which has done it.
I'd say it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Well, AC/DC, a long way to the top if you want to get over Bathurst, mate.
I actually think
goes wrong.
Logsdale might have been braking to get out of the way, and Orman's just come in a little bit too hot and has made contact. And unfortunately, what that's done is effectively destroyed his race. This late on, even with a fast repair, it's going to take him a good 45 seconds or so to get in, take the fast repair and get back out of the pits. As we see Ryan Palmer coming in behind as well for his second stop. He's left it very, very late, but couldn't do much differently.
What could Dyke do now as well too on the back there of Mark Point on was for the frog juiced racing. It's the juice that makes it juicy.
There's a throwback if ever I've heard one.
It's a song, isn't it?
What is that an ad for? That's going to bug me for the rest of the night.
That was an old song, actually.
It's
the
that's
fruit
right.
that makes it fruity.
Yeah, and they used it
was
for,
the song.
I reckon it's got to be a Starburst ad or something like that. That's what it sounds like to me. But anyway, who says marketing doesn't work, hey? Jamie Dyke still hasn't found the secret sauce that he was looking for here. He's basically right where David Coleman's been for the last, as we said, probably 20-odd laps, although that might be a slight exaggeration. It's probably not too far from the truth. Mark Boyden has been an absolute ball tonight for these fishy drivers. And Jamie Dyke is just hoping that he can find something. And there it is. There's the mistake from Mark Poynton, as I think that might have been Shane Cudby veering off the track to get out of the way. But Poynton has just overcompensated for that a little bit. And have a look at this. The Fishy drivers absolutely pounce on that. They are immediately all over the rear bar of that Camaro, and Mark Poynton's going to have to pull something special out here. Jamie Dyke maintains the gap for the moment, but can he hold it? And can Mark Poynton hold them off now that they've closed in?
They're $8 short from DC too in the corner as well too. So there it is, those two at the moment.
Poynton's done a fantastic job to hold on to that.
And the Funky Dyke bunch is at it. I'm going to throwbacks at the moment there as well too, mate. But here we go. We've got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, nothing in it really. I don't know if Jamie Dyke's got the pace left. You know, these tyres are getting... There you go, Brett Fisher confirming it was juicy fruit chewing gum. I knew it was something.
It's the juicy fruit that makes it juicy.
Yeah.
Well, this race is getting spicy.
And that's a stretch, Pickles, but I'll let you have it this time around.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, boss. I appreciate it. Yeah. Am I still employed in 2026? We'll see.
Look, I reckon we'll see you back again. Jamie Dyke, at this point, you know, he's 6 laps into these tyres. Mark Poynton's sliding all over the place. So you can tell he's pushing on. But, you know, Jamie Dyke should be just about due to hit what we kind of characteristically know as a bit of a second wind for these supercar tyres. It's got to be now or never, really, for Dyke to get past Poynton. And I don't know if he's got the pace he's going to need. Tap of the wall shows you just how hard he's pushing. He's using every bit of the track around here. And he is closing in, but...
Gas it, son.
I tell you what,
Never
running
left.
out of laps here. Lap 39
Winston
to
Churchill.
41.
Winston Churchill left right now. Defensive from Marky.
He's doing that, right? He's not going... Yeah. He's not going a hard defensive line. He's doing just enough to make it impossible for Dyke to get through. But it's costing him a little bit of pace on the way out. And this is where Dyke will absolutely hug the back of that Camaro again. He's going to look for a better line through the corner here and end up on the inside. Can't quite get there. But he's going to try and get the nose alongside. He's got a little bit of extra pace. It's not going to be enough by the time they get to Hell Corner. He's going to go up the inside again, though. Pushes hard, late on the brakes, forces his way through, side by side through Hell Corner. Poynton squeezed to the outside. Now they're side by side up Mountain Straight. This is a straight drag race towards Griffins. David Coleman trying everything he can. Look at this, 0.00, the gap between them the whole way up the straight. You could not get more aligned than this. Poynton is going to be on the inside. Jamie Dyke's going to have to do something special. Brakes early, tries to go over under, can't get there. Mark Poynton has held his line and somehow holds on to 6th place. What a drive from Poynton.
Yep, attacking exactly at this point. Remember, DC's now got some absolute slipstream as well too. He's still lurking in the back. This is a big battle on your pitches at the moment for P6, believe it or not, but it is the closest battle. You can throw a blanket over him. Although you don't want to probably throw a blanket over anybody in Bathurst right now because it's steaming hot for the last race of the championship.
I don't know. I reckon these guys could probably do this blind at this point. If anyone was going to try and race this track blindfolded, then yeah, it would absolutely be any of these drivers. I would think. I was just taking a quick look at a bit of the in-race chat going on, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. We've got some random people popping into the iRacing chat just begging for a safety car here. I don't think we're going to see anything of the sort here tonight, which is great news for Tim Nicol and of course for Brad Grant.
Oh.
Jamie Dyke pushing hard again. Poynton's gone defensive now. Can Dyke do something this time around? Going to have another run at it. But they're about to enter the penultimate lap. Wayne Walker's already out there on it, so he'll get the white flag next time around. Jamie Dyke right on the tail of Mark Poynton again, but can he get side by side again, and can he get onto the right hand side this time of Poynton? Or is Poynton gonna pull the same manoeuvre here? Jamie Dyke is just testing and pushing everything he can to try and make this work. He's nestled in behind that wing of Mark Poynton's Camaro. It's not going to be enough to have another crack at it this time, but he is going to be right there with him all the way. Poynton moves over. He knows that Jamie Dyke can't get there by the time the braking zone arrives. And David Coleman, you almost wonder if he's actually taken a bit of temperature out of the tyres by sitting back for a little while, and that's given him just that little bit of extra grip to get back onto the back here. Or, in fact, it's just a case of Poynton and Dyke costing themselves so much time. I think it's probably the latter. I have to wonder if David Coleman's thinking about trying to stay close enough to Conrod's to Jamie Dyke when they get to Conrod Straight, that he might be able to, I don't know, do a bit of bump drafting and push him along down there, Biggles? Is that, is that a bit much to ask?
I would say 1/10 to 2/10 at best if you're going to run down Conrod Straight. That'll be the key. And they can get him into the chase, but it sounds easy, but it's difficult to chase that car out of the elbow. And essentially, when you want to put the power down, because if you're in the slipstream as well too, you realise that you've got so much more speed coming in there. There it is. He might have enough.
Jamie Dyke.
He's going to hold it.
That's
no,
it.
DC's going to attack him big time now.
That's it. That's going to be all that Mark Poynton needed. That one small error, and that is it. It'll be the two fishy cars to decide who finishes where. But if Mark Poynton can keep it clean from here on, that is going to be all she wrote for this battle. And wow, what a battle it's been. Jamie Dyke
last lap for our race leader as well, mate.
Out onto the final lap. These guys will see the white flag on the way past. Surely they've got nothing left in the tank here to have another crack at Poynton. I can't see that they can close this gap up now. It's just too much. And David Coleman and Jamie Dyke both putting in valiant efforts to try and make their way past, but the Frog League Juice Racing entry, Mark Poynton behind the wheel, just too strong. And that look, honestly, would have been great to see it run all the way to the line, but I don't think it would have made a huge amount of difference in the end. As we jump forward now to Wayne Walker as he comes up and over the top of the mountain for the last time this season, for the last time tonight. This will be the final lap of Season 6. Solagard and Saint-Gobain have been an amazing supporter right through this season, and great to see them having contributed that to keep this league going for another season. We will, of course, be back for Season 7, and hopefully with Solagard on board. I'll have to check in with the ASR guys as to what's happening there, but always great to have the support of so many businesses that do make this all possible. Of course, Quantum Tint Solutions, West Automotive, Nicol Photography, and 24/7 Sim Services covering the race control all season. But it is all about to come to an end as Wayne Walker sends it up and over the curbs on the way into the chase for the last time. Comes on around just one final turn. Murray's awaits, and then it'll be the checkered flag for Wayne Walker as he takes not only the win here tonight, but also the championship completely locked away. He comes across the line, and that is it. Wayne Walker gets it done. A brilliant drive from him. Ken Latta not far behind at all, although 11 seconds feels like a lifetime here. He comes across the line in second. Jason Bentz in the end only 1.2 further back. A great drive from both of these guys to finish that one off. And I suspect, if we've done our numbers right, I reckon we've probably got...
He's still burnouts.
Yeah, look, I'll let you cover that. We'll catch everyone else coming across the line to finish this one off. Matt Vanderkruin comes across in 5th, Mark Poynton in 6th, and I'm not 100% certain, but I reckon that'll be pretty close to a dead tie for 3rd place in the championship between Bentz and Poynton. But we'll take a look at that very, very soon. What a drive from Wayne Walker. What a season for him. Ken Latta, a great drive here tonight as well. But, yeah, really across the board. I mean, you have a look at some of these gaps. You know, Andrew Rushworth just about to cross the line now, so he's on his way over the line as we speak, and finishes his final lap. Mick Clifton behind him. Phil Manuel comes across the line in 12th. Craig Schulz another 13 seconds further back. The spread here tonight, unlike anything we've seen throughout the rest of the season. Bathurst, as always, proving an absolute handful for all of the drivers. James Hardy crosses in 14th. Brad Hayes will come across in 15th, just behind Hardy. And then finally, we see the first of the ADHD entries coming across the line. Josh Harris in 16th. Rick Vigar has done a brilliant job to hold off Ryan Palmer's assault over the last couple of laps as they come across the line. And that will just about finish us off. Just a couple of drivers still out there. David Logsdale. Look, it's been a rough night, unfortunately, for the Logsdale entry here. It's missing a front bar. Yeah, look, the alignment looks it's a little bit out of whack, but it's weight reduction, mate. It's fine. It's fine. So he's got a fair way left to run. Ashley Hall is, it looks like he might actually be. Is he out of fuel?
Come on, Ashley. Somebody push him across the line at least.
I think he might actually be out of fuel, and he's fallen ever so slightly short of the line in the end. And Craig Rose appears to have the same problem. Unfortunately,
I think there's any cars out there to push him across. Is there?
No. I think that'll be Craig's race done. So he'll tow to pits, and that will bring us to the end of the final race of this season, as we wait for the last of the results to actually come through.
Last the V8s, Maxine.
Last the V8. Yeah, look, why not?
Why not? Here we go. Here we go.
Wayne Walker taking the win, as we said. Ken Latta in second. Jason Bentz in third, ahead of Sean Vandermeulen and Matt Vanderkraan. Then Mark Point and David Coleman, Jamie Dyke, Chad Vigar and Andrew Rushworth rounding out your top 10. And Biggles, just a huge, huge final round. I don't think we could have asked for a much better way to finish this off. What an amazing season it has been. Well, I think I've lost Biggles there for just a moment. We are just waiting now on the drivers coming through. I'm just gonna try and have a bit of a look at these championship standings and see if we can get a bit of a view of how this has wrapped up, because I'm pretty convinced that it's going to be very, very close. And look, maybe my numbers are off, but I don't know that there's going to be all that much in it. We do look at the championship standings. We'll have a chat though to each of these drivers tonight, and we'll start off with Jason Bentz, who finishes in third. Jason, welcome to the booth, mate, and a really, really tough drive out there tonight for everyone.
Yeah, a bit strange. I'm just looking at my tyres, trying to figure out why my right rear wasn't changing.
Oh, is that what was causing the issues?
Yeah, it's down to 36%.
Well, that explains quite a bit. We were trying to figure out what happened in your first pit stop that took you that much longer. Was it a problem right from the first pit? Was it, or was that something that came up?
I took more fuel in the first stop because I felt like I had pace on Wayne and Kenneth, but then I come out and I had nothing. And then so my tyres were 70%, and after the second stint they were down to 50%, and now it's down to 36%.
Wow. Okay, so some real issues there for you tonight then.
Yeah.
Considering that you've had a great race, like knowing that now to see you still finish right up the front end, mate, you've put in a hell of an effort. Those supercar tyres are not a lot of fun when you get down to those sort of levels, are they?
No.
To say the least. Mate, it's been a massive season. I'm not entirely certain. We're gonna have a bit of a look at the predicted points here, but I reckon it's going to be a really
somewhere
close
in the top 5, I think. But
it's going to be a close thing for you getting onto the podium at the end, mate. It's
yeah.
I was trying to do the numbers during the race. I don't know if you've quite managed to unseat Mark Poynton from third, but regardless of it, a huge season for you and for Quantum Racing. Congratulations on the result tonight and with the season overall. Before I do let you go, anyone you do want to say hello to?
Just to all the Quantum Racing guys, and thanks to the series sponsors that have been involved. Keep these things going. It's good fun.
Mate, always good to have you along. Congrats again on another great night of racing, and looking forward to seeing you in the booth again sometime soon, hey?
Yeah, same here. Hope I'm back soon. Thanks for the broadcast, guys.
Fingers crossed. Cheers, Jason. Jason Bentz there takes out P3 tonight, and we welcome back to the booth once again Ken Latta. Ken, it's another season under your belt and another one of those results that makes us look back on your season and go, geez, what could have been if only you'd had a bit of a more consistent run with these sort of results. But a great way to finish it here at Bathurst.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was away for a couple of weeks, so I think it was 3 weeks I ended up not racing because I was away. And so it was just a matter of just trying to enjoy the championship, enjoy the race a bit, try not to get too serious. But yeah, tonight was good. I was surprised to get second, I guess. Wayne was on fire, catch him down the hill, so good on him.
Yeah, mate, it's and that's it, right? With the sort of competition that you've got in this league, it's hard to stay in touch, isn't it? If you miss even 2 weeks out of the season, that really does wipe out the drop round impact that otherwise you might get away with. We're seeing you back next season. That's the big question.
Yeah, I should be back. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, look, a great drive tonight. Congratulations on picking up a P2 to finish off the season, and that'll certainly set you up nicely to carry that momentum into the start of next year. Before we let you go, one last time, anyone you want to say hello to?
Oh, just you guys. The broadcast is always fantastic, and Race Control putting on a series, and of course Wayne, winning the championship again. Really got to knuckle down to even be within mention of him. And well done to Ben as well tonight. He was showing really good pace leading up to this race. I think he had a bit of drama keeping a hold of the tyres for the stint. And all the guys at Fishy, our sponsors, Western Motor Group, Infinity Design, DC Shades, Battery Warehouse, Ellie Beach, Helen Esports, MGS Gaming, Index Design. I don't know, that's enough.
Mate,
Thanks, guys.
It's a good list. Ken, great to chat to you as always, mate. Well done all season, and can't wait to chat to you again next time round.
Awesome. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Ken Latter there. Picking up P2 to finish his season, not a bad way to do it. But for the last time this season, but certainly not the only time we've had a chat to him, Wayne Walker, welcome back to the comms booth, my friend. A win to finish off what has been an incredibly dominant season, and of course you retain that number one going into season 7 next year. Congratulations, first of all.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was good to finish the season with a win. Yeah, like with the non-dropped round. Yeah, it was good to finish with a win.
Mate, we did some numbers beforehand, and it was still mathematically possible for you to be beaten tonight. But I tell you what, it never looked in doubt from the moment we started tonight. And just for the record, the sort of maths it would have taken, Matt Vanderkraan could have stolen this one away from you, but he would have had to win it tonight, and you would have had to come in somewhere around 24th. I think was what we figured out. So,
yep,
mathematically possible. But I tell you what, about 3 laps in, it didn't look like that was ever going to be a chance. The air out in front just suiting you tonight, but a fair bit of pressure early on from Bence and from Ladder. Did you find yourself having to push a little harder than you originally planned, or was it still reasonably manageable compared to what you went in with tonight as a bit of a race plan?
No, well that first stint, I just couldn't get into a rhythm, and yeah, like with having Jason and Ken behind me, they were pushing as well. So I couldn't get into a rhythm, but then after that first stop, come out, I think about 3 seconds in front of Ken, and then, yeah, with a bit of clean air, I was able to concentrate on my laps and get into a rhythm and pull a bit of a gap. So after the second pit stop, I still had a gap to Ken.
Well, mate, in the end, it looked probably a lot easier, as it tends to do with you, I think, than it probably felt out on track. But honestly, the story of your season has been exactly this. Some really significant gaps at the end of each race, and it's almost a little hard to fathom that anyone's going to find the consistent pace to beat you next season. We did have a bit of a thought earlier on in the broadcast that maybe we could collect a I don't know, a 10-round season of all of your most hated tracks and put that next time around? Would you be keen for that?
Not really.
Unsurprising answer, but I kind of figured that might be the case. Mate, a massive, massive drive once again. As always, thank you so much for spending time having a chat to us afterwards. A huge, huge season and a very, very well-deserved victory. Go on, give them the shout-out. Say hello to everyone you need to.
Yeah, just, thanks to everybody who runs the league, race control, all the other competitors, podium finishes in the championship as well. Without all them, it's not possible, and it just sort of keeps getting the competition keeps getting better every season. So yeah, I hope it continues to do that. You guys in the broadcast booth, you do an amazing job every week as well. All of our sponsors, or my team as well, Accelerate Sim Racing, and all my teammates, they're a massive help, and that through the week. Our sponsors, Abbey Timber, Primal Wheels, Box and Lock Narang, and Modern Deck. And yeah, that's about
Wayne,
it.
Are you the Batman?
Sorry?
Are you the Batman, Wayne? You can tell us.
Batman. No.
I still can't quite wrap my head around exactly what bit of word association Biggles has done to come up with Batman as a nickname for you, but he's trying his hardest to make it stick, Wayne. We'll see what we can come up with.
Will it work, Wayne? I mean, you got it. Yeah.
No, look, a massive season. Congratulations once again, Wayne, and go and enjoy yourself a very, very well-earned drink, mate.
Yep, thank you. Will do.
Wayne Walker takes the win tonight, takes the win in the championship for Season 6. And as we were saying earlier, Biggles, I don't know how good my numbers are here, but it does look on paper like Benz may have pipped Poynton for P3 in the championship. We'll have to wait for the final points and penalties to be calculated, but I'll tell you what, that'd be a real boon for Jason Benz to jump a couple of spots at the death here and sneak onto the podium. Matt Vanderkram.
What about poor Dean?
Well, yeah, look, Dean Logsdale, unfortunately missing tonight. Had a
jumped
great
from second to ninth.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the final round, isn't it? Not being a drop round. Whatever you land with here tonight is where you're going to finish up, and that is a story that is all too familiar. We've seen Matt Vanderkram drop from first place at the start of a final round to much further down the order in previous seasons when he hasn't been able to make the final round. It is just the nature of racing and the format here, I suppose. But look, that brings us to the end of Season 6 of the Alliance Sim Racing Supercar Championship. It's a mouthful at this point, but what a season it has been. Bathurst delivers, as always, as a final round for the season. A massive congratulations to Wayne Walker on the win here tonight, and of course with the championship, and a massive shout out to everyone who's made this league what it is across the year, not just this season, but to the admin team, to the stewards up in the race control booth from 24/7 Sim Services, to all of the sponsors. Solarguard St. Cobain, of course, is the primary sponsor for this season, but to AA West Automotive, Quantum Tint Solutions, and Nicol Photography, your support of this season and this league is so very much appreciated. And we'd ask anyone out there, if you do have the need for any of the services that these guys offer, please do support the people that support the league. At the end of the day, it's the best way to keep it all going. Make sure though that you don't disappear just yet. We've still got some more racing on the way. Look, the ASR season is done and dusted. We've got Thursday night over on Simple Racing Broadcast. We'll be back at Bathurst for the Tasman Racing League final round of their GT3 Championship. On Sunday, over at Simple Racing Broadcast, we head to Adelaide on Assetto Corsa with AK Racing. And,
Assetto Corsa, not the iRacing.
No, not the iRacing one yet. Not the iRacing one yet. We'll be taking a look at the Adelaide track on Assetto Corsa with AK Racing as they do their final round for the season over there as well. But then, of course, on the 16th, 2 weeks from tonight, mark your calendars, the Alliance Sim Racing charity event will kick off. So we will be over on the Simple Racing Broadcast channel the Adelaide 400 on iRacing. Adelaide, we had a bit of debate last week as to whether this would be released on that day or the week before, but I guess we'll see next week, really, won't we? The ASR Christmas Charity Special Event supporting Pink Fins once again, who do an amazing job of supporting people suffering from and recovering from all sorts of cancers. We are looking to hopefully raise $1,000 this year. Last year, $718 was a great start, but we'd love to crack the $1,000 mark. And that will be...
Cancer.
Yeah, it'll be a phenomenal night of racing. I hope that we see you all there in one way, shape or form. But until we do see you again, Biggles, thank you again so much for jumping in the booth this season and coming along for the ride with us.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
And from myself in the commentary box and everyone at ASR, thank you all at home for being part of this amazing season. Stay safe. Enjoy what lies ahead for whatever's happening across your week, and we will see you again somewhere around YouTube very, very soon for more amazing racing. Until next time, though, it is goodbye for now.